Hello guys and welcome back to the Football Social, where today we are looking at games such as Liverpool versus Bournemouth, Huddersfield versus Arsenal and the rest of the 3 p.m. kickoffs live on Football Daily and Soccer AM's YouTube and Facebook pages. I'm in esteemed company today. Has a very Football Daily flavour this episode, starting with Dave Jackson on the left, who's going to be paying close attention to Huddersfield versus Arsenal.
Can't wait.
Need to win, Davo. Manchester United 4 points ahead of you now. Are you a little bit nervous about finishing below them?
We'll finish above them. We've got a game in hand. They have to come to the Emirates and we'll do them.
Oh, yeah?
And not say anything swear word there, yeah. Don't worry, I've got complete confidence and faith in Unai and his red and white army.
Good man, let's move on. James Wayne, the Manchester City fan, the resident citizen. You're going to be watching Liverpool, keeping a close eye on the enemy. Anything you're looking out for in particular today? Because Liverpool, normally roll Bournemouth over.
Yeah, but they've stumbled recently, so it'll be interesting to see if they can hold their nerve against Bournemouth, who are a team who are quite well known for coming back from losing situations, so it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, 26 points since the start of last season. Incredible stuff from Eddie Howe's men. Gutsy, you might say. Talking of gutsy, Adam Templeman, with lots of makeup on today,
I've got loads on today.
Gorgeous.
I look beautiful, mate.
What should the fine people do who are watching this? How do they get their questions into you?
It is so simple. You can tweet us at Football Daily, at Soccer AM, and hashtag is the Football Social. If the questions are good, I'll ask the guys. It's that simple.
What's the barometer for good?
What's the barometer for good? I don't know. There is no barometer.
Throwing you under the bus early doors there. Good stuff. Will Brazier, you're watching the rest of the games on that medium-sized screen, it's got to be said.
Yep.
So what are the games are you going to be paying close attention to?
The BDIs will be looking at Crystal Palace versus West Ham, Southampton versus Cardiff, and the Marco Silva derby, the one we've all been waiting for, Watford versus Everton.
Lovely stuff. So we're going to go to full-time scene, guys, at the Fulham versus Manchester United game, Craven Cottage, because no doubt OGS, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will be delighted with that performance, getting a big high five there from Paul Pogba, the man scoring 2 goals in this game, an absolute belter to open proceedings and a penalty to round things off, either side of a Martial finish that was quite frankly stunning, Dave, and you were repulsed by it, weren't you, as an Arsenal fan?
Why don't they just keep Jose for another couple of weeks? You know what I mean? It all seems to have gone a bit. What was extremely frustrating is when we played them in the 2-2 at Old Trafford, I think we were about 12 points above them.
Yeah.
kind of gone a bit south,
yeah, and how the tables have turned, David. Talking of table, let's go over to the Premier League table. Lovely segue early doors, where Fulham have now conceded 58 goals in the Premier League, down in 19th. It looks like it's goodbye and good night for Fulham and Huddersfield, now on 11 and 17 points respectively. Great stat for you. Huddersfield only scored 13 goals this season. Arsenal substitutes have scored 10 when coming on. So desperate times if you're down the Kirk Lees. Top of the table, Manchester United move into 4th on 51 points. Now 4 points ahead of the Gooners after being 12 to 15 points behind them at the start of the winter period, Dave. That's got to hurt. And talking of hurting, here's a man who hurts the eyes. It's Joe Tomlinson. We're going over to him. Seminal scenes on Football Daily.
I was on fire.
That's great stuff.
Joseph. My old freckled chum in the car. Look at this commitment to the Manchester United game and the Football Social. Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Can you give us a breakdown of what was good about that Manchester United performance?
Yeah, well, I'm in the car, so I watched it on Sky Go. Just got a McDonald's in the front, so let's keep this one fairly brief. I want to get onto that in a second. Man United were just a million miles better than Fulham. Fulham were passive, rubbish off the ball, not great on it. Paul Pogba totally dominated the entire midfield. Martial, as you already spoken about, that goal was ridiculous. I mean, it was so comfortable that Phil Jones looked like Beckenbauer at times, and I think that pretty much sums up how awful Fulham are and how comfortable Manchester United made it.
Okay. Well, this is only going to add to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting the job on a permanent bandwagon. You've been fairly balanced, actually, about the whole situation. Not really jumped the gun, despite some misleading tweets that were supposed to be ironic. Joe, are you starting, to buy into it anymore? Can you understand the fever?
Yeah, I can definitely understand the fever, and I can see why a lot of Manchester United, particularly game-attending fans, are really behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting the permanent job, and I imagine most of the players are as well now, because he's obviously turned the atmosphere in the dressing room on its head completely. all the Manchester United fans are playing, all the Man United players are playing at the top of their game, really, all the superstars anyway, in the likes of Paul Pogba and Martial, Marcus Rashford. But for me, it's still too early to tell. February's going to be a massive month for Manchester United with some huge games in Liverpool, both the PSG fixtures. So let's come out of February and see where we are. But it's got to be you've got to do a lot to take it off a man like Pochettino, who's proved he can do it time and time again, both tactically and in the dressing room.
Right, I'm going to try and talk to you through the camera now. I've been talking to you on the screen. So, Joe, 1 point ahead of Chelsea in 4th. Champions League seemed like a pipe dream in November. Me and you doing winners and losers. Most weeks you were very upset on a Monday. Do you actually think you're in with a shot now? Chelsea sort of stuttering a little bit. And now you've gone, 10 games unbeaten? Manchester United only 1 draw in there. That kind of, I don't know, bit of an underwhelming performance against Burnley. Do you think are you dreaming, Joseph, so to speak?
United are definitely going to get top 4. I don't think United are going to miss out on top 4 from this position. I think United's form is currently into time of the season. I think Arsenal are dropping off. I think Chelsea are still stuttering. It's all going to be on Gonzalo Higuain's shoulder, growing into the season. Whereas that's 8 wins already, more than Mourinho picked up for the entire season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think once Alexis Sanchez and Romelu Lukaku,
that's the first match I've said all day.
Oh, well.
Away. Today could have been 6 or 7 against Fulham.
Starting to cut out a little bit there, Joe. You're going to have to thank you. I think you're in a dark spot on the motorway. Cheers for your professionalism, though.
Thank you,
very
Joseph.
Succinct, very erudite. Football Daily almost coming across professional here, Dave.
Yeah, he's talking nonsense. Banging on about. They're playing particularly well. And I think, I said it a couple of weeks ago, this was probably like the 4th or 5th game under Ole Gunnar when I said it. They're really starting to get that fear factor back, which is the most worrying thing. Teams don't want to go to Old Trafford anymore. Whereas there was a period of time, I think, under particularly the end of Jose's reign, where it's like, all right, we can go there and at least get something out of the game. Whereas now, your players like your Pogbas and your Martials, they actually strike fear in like the opposition now. So that's the very worrying thing. But Joe talking nonsense as always. Top 4.
I think you've been a little bit cruel there. I actually think they're in with a chance.
I think they are.
Do you know that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pre this game, if the table only existed from when he took over, they'd have been topped by 4 points. An absolutely ridiculous stat that, given context, isn't that impressive considering the size of their face, but wanted to wheel it out anyway. James, we're moving on to Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Now, Liverpool, like you said, stuttering of late. So 2 times in the last 2 games they've thrown away a 1-0 lead, only to draw 1-1. Can you see anything other than a Reds win in this game, though? Because, like I say on Sunday Vibes tomorrow, Bournemouth's front line, pretty impressive, even without Callum Wilson.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, King's, I think, 3 in his last 3, I believe. Doing great for my fantasy team.
Good.
But to be fair, they've missed Wilson, and I think he's in the squad today. I think he's starting. The goals that he was providing was fantastic, but they've been quite inconsistent of recent.
Yeah, losing to Cardiff in the last game.
Absolutely smashed Chelsea, which came completely out of the blue. I think that was a bit of an anomaly.
Was that intended?
No, that wasn't intentional. No.
Against Chelsea, you devil.
I don't know. It's a bit of a hard one to call because Liverpool have looked nervous. Bournemouth, on their day, could be, big team beaters. So it'd be interesting to see kind of how the front one actually, I should say, Bournemouth's front one, King, actually deals with this whole situation.
Big fan of Ryan Fraser as well. 9 Premier League assists so far this season, only bettered by Eden Hazard, the wonderful Scottish imp. Adam Templeman, any questions in for us early doors that will take us over until kick-off?
We do. William Law says, is this the best Premier League title race ever? What do we think?
Well, Matt? David, it wasn't Premier League, but Arsenal winning on the last day way back when they beat Liverpool.
Oh, that wasn't Premier League.
That wasn't Premier League era.
I think also when you have
others spring to mind,
Man City winning it on the last day, well, the last second, that's surely a better title race. I think City will have this one before the last game of the season.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
That.
David is backing the Citizens. I've actually backed them on past episodes as well. Their form is starting to become a little bit ominous now. You know, despite as well being a little bit inconsistent of late, that loss to Newcastle was very out of character, wasn't it? Because you actually deserved to lose that game, James. Do you see yourselves pulling Liverpool in, reining them in, winning this league back-to-back for the first time since, what, 2009 a team would have done that?
Winning it back-to-back is so important for our club in general, kind of staples this team as being like an all-time great Premier League team. But I think, like, Kevin De Bruyne coming back has changed the whole dynamic. I mean, you saw it in the last game. I can't remember who we were playing. Arsenal.
We watched it, yeah. Yeah, it was brilliant.
On for 10 minutes and got the assist.
Oh, no, I'm talking, he started against Arsenal, didn't he, when you won 3-1?
No, what's the most recent game? But anyway, he came on for the last 10 minutes, got an assist. Everton, that was the one. Yeah. And, I think him coming in is just strengthening an already massive squad. Like, the depth is ridiculous. But you can see it from Liverpool's point of view that defensively they've lost out 2 right-backs. They're playing James Milner there now, who's quite risky. You know, you saw him getting sent off against Crystal Palace because just couldn't deal with Zaha. So there's problems in the Liverpool defence that are kind of giving, I would say, the whole club as a whole, the club as a whole, quite a lot of nerves.
Yeah, not very many problems up front, though. Mo Salah's been absolutely killing it of late. Hasn't he? 16 goals in the Premier League. He's actually scored 5 in his last 3 against Bournemouth. I think Sadio Mane has 3 in 3 as well, and Firmino has 5 in his last 6. So those 3 absolutely flying, and we can see them, flying out of the tunnel. How important do you guys think it's going to be being at Anfield today? Because they have been imperious there. The Bournemouth stand a chance. I'm going to go to you, Will Brazil, on the end. Looking very inquisitive.
I was more puzzled on my behalf. Well, I don't know. I watched the Leicester game, and it seems like early on they got the goal, but after like 2 or 3 minutes, and then when the second didn't come, the fans seemed to get on top of them, and it was like very nervy at Anfield. And obviously the equaliser came from Slabhead himself, Harry Maguire. So I don't know if they probably need like a 2 or 3 goal head start just to calm the nerves of everyone, because when it's like 2-0 or 1-0, the crowd seem very jumpy, and that does affect the players.
Yeah.
I think.
I actually thought they were a little bit lucky to escape with the 1 point against Leicester, but they have only, they're unbeaten in 33 at Anfield, only losing 2 of their last 57 there. Let's go over to the Kirklees, where there is no Aubameyang. That is the main talk around the starting XI. Lacazette leading the guys from the front. David, surely still enough in this Arsenal lineup to see these guys off fairly comfortably.
I really do hope so, Christopher Hamill.
Me too, mate. Just, for your mood, actually.
I remember thinking before we played Cardiff, we were playing at home, and I think, right, this should be one of the most comfortable football socials I'm ever going to have. And they made it extremely hard work. Hoping we get a nice early goal, calm the nerves, and just get the 3 points. At this stage, I just need the 3 points. I don't really care how they come, to be honest.
I suppose the Terriers can take a little bit of confidence in the fact you're the only side not to keep a clean sheet away in the Premier League this season, which is pretty poor form, isn't it? Although you had 1 back-to-back Premier League games before that defeat to Manchester City, but away from home, absolutely stinking. Haven't won any of the last 6 on the road. Losing 3 of those. We're going to go over to Watford now. Vicarage Road, as it's known. What a pantheon of football that is. Although Marco Silva, back to one of his old stomping grounds. It is the Marco Silva derby. And Everton, inconsistent yet again, and the fans getting on his back a little bit. James, do you have anything to say about this fixture? Which way do you think it's going to go? Because I've actually predicted, and we'll get on to the accumulator shortly, a Watford victory.
I'm not too sure with this game. I mean, I've been quite disappointed with Everton this season. I don't think they've performed as well as they should do. I think they let a lot of things go, defensively, and players like Bernard, especially, I've been keeping a close eye on him because he's in my fantasy team. And he's been really disappointing. And he was a player that a few years ago was kind of very exciting. He was lighting up European games and stuff like this, and he's just not been performing. But I'm not too sure. I can't really see that game being entertaining, I'm sorry to say. Yeah.
Chris, can I hit you with a stat? Javi Garcia is the first ever Watford manager to manage 38 games in a Premier League season.
I'm really glad you jumped in. That's outstanding work from you, William. And we're going to stay with you, mate, because you're actually watching the Southampton game, aren't you? And we're seeing live scenes from the pre-match build-up.
Yeah. To your normal football fan, it's not much of a humdinger, but to Will Brazier, this is going to be an absolute thriller. Neil Warnock in the dugout, both fighting for relegation. I predicted Cardiff to stay up from the outset, but we alluded to the ACCA I've actually backed Southampton to win this one. I think since the new manager's come in, I've watched a few games. Nathan Redmond seems like a new player that high intensity seems to be back, and I think could be quite comfortable for Southampton.
The only team to lose more points from a winning position than Fulham, Southampton, this term with 17, which is pretty poor, isn't it? We're going to go over to Crystal Palace, West Ham now. Do you have any thoughts on this game as well, Will, seeing as you're watching it? If not, we can go to the centre of the sofa.
I backed West Ham on the ACCA because we all sat in the green room earlier thinking Wilf Sahar was out, but due to I think they're repealing the extra ban, so he starts with Benteke, and they've got the Batman on the bench as well, so lots of attacking flair with Townsend there as well.
What a signing that was, Batshuayi.
I know, yeah. Well, he was supposed to be going to West Ham, then Valencia as well, maybe?
Snuck him over the line the last minute. Well, he cut short his loan spell at Valencia, didn't he? Not having the greatest time of it there, unlike his time in Dortmund. We're going to go straight to the ACCA now, guys. You can bet along with us. Adam Templeman has gone for an away win, West Ham versus Palace. I think that's going to be a tough one to call, but West Ham in fine fettle of late, let's say. Dave has gone for an away victory, Arsenal versus Huddersfield. I think that should be in the bag, short of a shock. James, Liverpool versus Bournemouth. He's gone for Liverpool. Will, as you've already stipulated, Southampton you've opted for Hassan Hurtl's men, and I have gone for Watford. I think they are just a lot more solid than Everton. I'm a big fan of Decore. I'm a big fan of Deulofeu. Let's see if they can get their better players in the game. Right, let's go. Let's go over to the game then. 25-1, by the way, if you'd like to bet along with us, subject to term and conditions. Obviously, you've got to be 18 to bet along with us. So go and check that out. Link in the description, in the box, if you want to take us up on that offer. But here we go. I'm watching Huddersfield versus Arsenal with Davo, and we want a nice early goal here, don't we? We want to see Dave Jackson, peak Dave Jackson, screaming his face off, getting out his chair, bouncing the ball about. Oh, God. But you're under the cosh early doors, Dave. What's happening?
Going on? Just, come on. I don't know why he's playing Mkhitaryan. I don't know what's going on. I'm not very happy with this lineup, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Go on then. What would you have changed about the lineup?
Well, I don't know.
Is it just a gut feeling at this
point?
No,
it's I have to assume that Aubameyang's injured. Hey, where's Ozil? What's going on?
The Ozil situation's
There's
absolutely
no Ramsey
baffling.
either or Xhaka.
Right, I'm hearing on the grapevine that Aubameyang's got an illness. So, not really much Unai Emery can do about that.
Get him on the...
What do you mean, what do I mean he's got an illness? Oh, my goodness, and you are under the cosh again.
Yeah, but what, so is he, dying? He's not, is he? Get him on the pitch. What's going on? Paying him 200 grand a week.
And there's an insight to what sort of manager Dave Jackson would be. How's it looking early doors in the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, James?
Yeah, Bournemouth look quite comfortable on the ball. They've lost it now, and Liverpool kind of getting into their own stride. Not really too much in it, a little bit scrappy. Bournemouth, as I said, looked comfortable, got in the box a good few times, but at the moment it's just a bit of ping-pong. Ping-pong? What am I on about? Table tennis? I don't know. Pinging about all over the place.
Yeah, Whiff-waff, same thing. Gift gaff, of course, other, phone companies are available. Right, back to the Arsenal game then, where you've actually got it out of your third.
Which is great,
Iwobi is chasing it down, pressing it down top right, and it's gone out for a throw, and I actually feel a little bit more invested in the Liverpool game here. I want to ask you all, before we go over to Temps for a question, would you begrudge, obviously, James, this goes without saying, Liverpool the title at this point, given the football they've played over the last couple of years? Because a lot of neutrals are starting to turn on them, and it's slightly strange how under Brendan Rodgers there was a feeling of goodwill towards him. Yeah. We wanted to see Gerrard lift the title, and now it's a little bit like Jurgen Klopp and his hugs and his touchline antics. The average Briton has turned on him. Starting with you, Dave, mate. Would you
I'll be honest.
Liverpool or City for the title, mate?
Well, it's as long as Spurs don't win, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Dave's answer is that he's pathetic.
Who do I want? I actually wouldn't mind if Liverpool to win the league.
Good man.
To be fair, I would say I don't mind Liverpool winning the league if it wasn't us.
Right, okay.
If going for second. If it was United challenging or Spurs or whatever, I wouldn't mind Liverpool winning the league. But it's just the fact that it's us against them at the moment. So yeah, City all the way, obviously.
Which is fair enough. Temps?
Well, the number one reason is people think that Liverpool fans will be unbearable if they win the league. I don't know any Liverpool fans, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah. But I kind of want City to win, just because Arsenal also are without a title for a very long time.
Yeah.
So.
We're without a Liverpool fan on Football Daily as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
A couple of City fans in there, so maybe a little bit more emotionally invested in City. Will, you are looking a little bit scared about the other 3 o'clock kickoffs. Are you okay?
No, it's just as you know, I've got incredibly beady eyes, so watching 3 or 4 games at a time is an intense experience for me. But I'm trying to do my best for you, Chris.
Anything happening in those games early doors, mate?
All West Ham in the Crystal Palace versus West Ham game. A couple of corners coming in, but apart from that, we've had nothing. But an early sighting for me. There was a bit of the linesman was in the news in the Liverpool-West Ham game.
Yes.
West Ham-Liverpool game for a dodgy Barnet.
Oh, yeah.
There's a linesman with what can only be described as a all-in-one adult film star sort of moustache beard combination going on. So I don't know if it's a new prerogative for linos to get in the limelight.
It's an inside joke with the linos.
It's one of these, like the full thing all the way around, but nothing here.
A go-to.
So
it must be.
Keep an eye on that for you, Chris.
I'd like to think that wasn't out of choice. And, if you send us any more dodgy haircuts from officials that you've noticed over the last couple of weeks, then please get on our social pages, which are Football Daily on Facebook and Twitter, and as well on Soccer AM, much of the same. So please, I want John Stiff to be absolutely sifting through dodgy Barnet after dodgy Barnet.
I'd love that.
We'll get a couple of them retweeted for you. Davo, you seem to have been seduced by the Liverpool game there temporarily.
Mate, I was watching that crap.
Are you, OK, back to Arsenal Huddersfield. Are you looking any less panic-stricken
They are
at the
now
back?
starting to get hold of the ball, which is a lot more positive for me to watch. We should dominate the possession away from home at Huddersfield, and that is what they're starting to do. So that's all you can ask at this stage. So a little bit better than when you first came to me.
OK. Aaron Moy there on the ball, performing absolute wonders for my fantasy football team last year. Not really been able to replicate the same form this year. And I think if my cheat sheet, that I dug out pre-game is serving me correctly, Depotra, 1 goal in his last 46 appearances.
Nice.
Or it might even be 48. And Steve Mounier, their big summer signing last year, who arrived with a great degree of promise from the French League, 1 in 26, I want to say. Either way, their forwards have been waiting a very long time for a goal. And I think Jorgensen's Huddersfield's top goal scorer this season with 3. So I'd be asking for at least half of my money back if I'd bought a season ticket at the Kirklees at this point, because it has been far from entertaining.
It's a beautiful stadium, though.
And you know what? Loyal fans, apparently the atmosphere has been absolutely fantastic down there this season yet again. And the chairman didn't want to sack Wagner, did he? Wanted him to stay on until the end of the season, but of course Wagner wanted a bit of a rest from the intensity of Premier League football, which is understandable when you're in a relegation dogfight on a permanent basis. Adam Templeman, have we got any other questions about our feature games or, the 3 o'clock kickoffs?
We have a question about Arsenal. So Teju has said, should Arsenal now prioritise the Europa League instead of chasing top 4?
No.
Dave Jackson in straight away there with an answer. Let's go over to you then, mate. Elaborate on why
we
you're
are
so
4 points
against it.
off the top 4 with a game in hand. This is definitely, and we're no longer in the FA Cup. If we just can't. Oh, chance for Lacazette. Penalty!
That was such a good
a solid tackle, to be fair.
Was it?
That was good. That was good.
I think it's not like we're 10 points behind. We're 4 points with a game in hand.
Yeah.
This is definitely still maybe not in our hands mathematically, but definitely within our grasp.
Yeah. But you're always, quite positive, quite upbeat. You want Arsenal to go for it. There's no element of settling with you, is there?
No.
So, how has it been watching Arsenal in the Europa League? Because I think it gets a bit of unfair criticism, the Europa League, as a Celtic fan.
I think last year we got extremely unlucky that so many good teams came down from the Champions League. The fact we had to play Atletico Madrid in the semi-final, whereas it was the season before, Manchester United's run was absolutely ridiculous. They played they played Ajax in the final.
Celta Vigo as well.
Yeah, so you'd probably say Arsenal and Chelsea, the 2 best teams left in that competition.
Yeah.
So, again, that looks like a decent route potentially to Champions League football as well. But I think we should definitely still be concentrating on the league. Because,
so you want to take it seriously now you're in the tournament because it's a route to the Champions League, but you don't want to be settling for it in the league?
No, exactly. Yeah.
All right,
so
cool.
we should, but any Arsenal team, we should be going out to win every game. Like as soon as you start to like deprioritise any kind of game of football, then you're already starting to, by the time you cross that white line, you're basically saying it doesn't really matter if we lose. That is the worst attitude in the world.
You know, because you grew up in a very good period as an Arsenal fan, didn't you? Wenger coming in for George Graham, revolutionising the club. Hello. Oh, Iwobi.
Why has he gone near post there? Come on.
So back to the question. Grew up in the glory days of Arsenal's modern history.
Yeah.
Has it made you appreciate what Wenger did early
100%.
doors?
I
more so.
Like, even when, like, basically up until Wenger's last day, I will thank that man for, like, almost like forever. I think, particularly fans my age were probably a little bit spoilt in the fact that we were so good on that period of time. You know, was it three league titles, a couple of FA Cup, you know, so. We need to be extremely appreciative of what Arsene Wenger did, but now it's a new era, and we have to build again, and we've got to go again.
I'm reading this book at the moment called The Club, and it points to a point in time where Arsenal were only guaranteed a bank loan if Arsene Wenger agreed to stay at the club for 5 years. You know, you're an absolute don when you're in that position. But Arsenal on the attack again. Dave, what happened there? How did it peter out?
The ball down the wing. Alex Iwobi has swapped sides. Originally started on the left, he's now gone to the right.
Oh my God! What an idiot!
Well, over to Will Bradley, it's safe to say.
Capue's found himself in the 6-yard box. The ball's been bobbling around. Everton defenders Michael Keane thought it was offside. No flag was given. 3-4 yards out. And what's he done, Chris? He's hit it over the bar. I'd have scored that with my eyes closed and with some dodgy boots on that didn't fit me. That is terrible. Look at this.
Great save.
If I take it all back, a moment of history.
Well, don't you feel silly?
England's #1, that's why it released the hounds. Look at that. It's a fantastic save. Capuet couldn't have done any more. And it's a fantastic save from Pickford from point-blank range.
He should definitely have scored.
It looks like it's come off the shoulder there. Great save from Jordan Pickford. His arms are bigger than reported on most websites. And a no-nonsense haircut from the lino as well in the Watford-Everton game. That's what you like to see, isn't it, Will?
That shot back inside.
Good save.
I don't mind that.
Right, what were you screaming about there, mate? Go on, take us
Jack
through that.
Stevens had a chance for Southampton in the big 6-pointer down at the bottom, but I think it deflected wide and they've got a corner, but they've started well at the home ground St Mary's, which is a lifeless bowl, in my opinion.
Interesting. Arthur Burrock, the holy goalie there. James looking pretty impressed with himself. Has he just saved the Liverpool attempt?
I mean, it wasn't that great of a chance, but yeah, he made quite a nice save. I think Liverpool were feeling their way into this game a bit more. Ryan Fraser went down just a minute ago because he absolutely clumped by Fabinho.
Did he get called?
Well, no, it wasn't a foul as such. It's just momentum took him into him. But yeah, it's a bit dull still. I mean, we've only had one shot on target from Ryan Fraser attacking down Liverpool's right-hand side, kind of exposing Milner. But yeah, it's been a bit of a damp squid, although Liverpool are on the attack currently.
Oh, go on, Salah cutting in.
Comfortable save from Boruc there.
There we go. And Fabinho there, I think, annoyingly for you, starting to look like a sort of Fernandinho figure in that Liverpool side. Obviously, you're looking for a long-term heir at Manchester City. Yeah. He might be the next Fernandinho-type player we see in the Premier League. He's got it all, hasn't he? Swiss Army knife. Adam Templeman, talking of Swiss Army knives. A man of many talents. Can you find us one of many questions?
I do have a good question here, actually. It's from Mandar, who says, has Sadio Mane been more important for Liverpool than Mo Salah this season?
Sorry, gentlemen, I'm going to take this straight off the bat. It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? 16 goals, 8 assists. I think Mo Salah, prior to this game, has as many goal involvements as the other two forwards combined. So while I really like Sadio Mane, and I think he's got different skill set, great in the transition, isn't he? And he was Liverpool's best player in that first half against Leicester. I think it'd be a stretch to say he's more important than Mo Salah. Will, anything worth talking about there in the other games?
Ball bobbling around at Vicarage Road in the Everton have had a corner. No, but West Ham have gone close. Oh, who was that? I think that was Snodgrass going close, I think, there. And it's up the end. Cardiff are coming back, so it's picking up, and we do need a goal because...
Sorry, Will, is that Gunnarsson who's just thrown that in? Because that came down with snow on. That's the longest throw I've seen in the Premier League since Rory Delap, mate.
I think he sent it back to Iceland and it came back in a boomerang and it's gone in the box. But yeah, he's got the long throw on him.
Back in a boomerang.
But yes, I just need a goal, Chris.
Yeah, you do need a goal. You
light the fuse.
You live for those moments, don't you?
Just live for goals.
You get to go full Dave Jackson and just stand up and scream. Dave, we're not hearing much screaming from you. In fact, I'm hearing more tutting than anything else.
I've just seen Arsenal's bench. We've got no one on the bench today. Yeah. So we really need to get this job done now.
Who's on there?
No
Joe
one.
Willock?
Him, yeah. Him and bloody Cato, whatever his name is. So...
All right then, mate. Fair enough.
Where is Ozil?
We'll come away from the game. The new manager there, proud in the touchline in the Huddersfield game.
What's he done there?
Arriving from Dortmund, I think the idea was that there's a continuity in terms of attacking football there at Huddersfield, but there's nothing attacking about this current side. Is there only 13 goals? Like I said, 5 only coming from open play as well. So pretty upsetting if you're from Huddersfield. Back to the 3 o'clock kickoff. So before we get another question, I won't just answer myself. I'll field it to everyone this time round. A little bit selfish from me there. Any
West
danger?
Ham!
Oh!
Fantastic save there from who's in goal? Gaeta. Who's this lad who's in goal for Crystal Palace, Chris?
Who's this guy?
No Karai, no Hennessy. It's Gaeta.
That was very Alice Smithy there, throwing me under the bus. So let me just
Let me just
give you a detailed profile of Crystal Palace's third choice goalkeeper, mate. Absolutely not. Let's go to socials.
I think he's 4.
You've let yourself down there big time.
Yeah,
Mate. I'm not coming over to you for 10 minutes now.
Oh, come on.
Temps, we got a question?
We do, yeah. This question is from Lance. Who
First time.
Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi. Ball, Mkhitaryan. It was a lovely ball played up to him. He took a couple of touches.
That is an awful celebration.
He just oofed it. Back post. Alex Iwobi, first time. Great goal. Even though he kind of scuffed the shot, but he scored. So well done, Alex Iwobi. You are coming to where we need you to go to. well done, Alex
I was going to say, a little bit maligned by Arsenal fans for his lack of goals, despite still being very young. It's taking a heavy deflection, Dave. You failed to mention that, mate. Take us through the replay.
Yes, ball swinged over the top by Mkhitaryan. First time, bang! Alex Iwobi. Yes, it was defender. But we will take them all because they all count Christopher Columbus. Well done. That is slightly unfortunate for the Huddersfield defence, but I don't care.
I actually met Terence Congolio last week. 2 weeks ago.
Nice guy.
He's all right.
Just all right. Almost like that wasn't worth bringing up. Anyway, let's go to social corner. Adam Temple.
Yeah, sorry. The question we have is from Lance, who says, do you think that Denis Suarez will succeed at Arsenal?
How about you answer this one first?
Don't do that
being
to
an
me.
Arsenal
Don't
fan.
do a Smith.
You don't have a Denis. I thought I'd bring you into the conversation.
I'll
Don't have Denis Suarez's opinion.
I don't have a Denis. I haven't seen enough of Denis Suarez, to be honest.
I don't think the Barcelona fans.
Yeah, the most I've seen from Denis Suarez is him at Arsenal when he came off the bench. That's it. That's all I've seen. And I feel like he was a bit weak on the ball. He got shoved around a lot.
He did look a little bit...
Come on, do something.
A bit meek when he came on against Manchester City, but that's a tough debut to make. Dave, I know you weren't overly pleased with your January transfer window as a whole, so you don't have to take us specifically through Denis Suarez, but what happened in the 31 days of Jan with Arsenal?
So I actually don't think we had the worst, even though we didn't bring anyone in, I think we need pretty much a whole new defence, right? And I don't think we'd have got the value that you kind of are going to get in the summer transfer. So there's no point bringing in a panic buy like a Denis Suarez. It's just stupid.
You think there's a panic buy?
Well, I don't really see his value really. Like if we're after like midfielders, we've got loads of midfielders. That's let's try and get some of the crap off the books. So I think it's a lot better that we instead of buying like second choice defenders, they've almost waited, kept the money, and then in the summer we can hopefully go and bring in our first choice options.
Although Socrates hasn't been as bad as people have made out. I think Mavropanos we yet to see, if he can actually deputise in Koscielny's absence.
Yeah. But the fact we're still reliant on Koscielny and Nacho Monreal. They are the wrong side of 30 now. So,
extra salt in the wound as well that Ramsey's kind of looked like your not best player, that's quite strong, but he's looked prominent when he's been on.
Yeah.
And he's leaving, isn't he? Are you upset about Ramsey leaving? More upset than you were 6 months ago?
Well, I think the thing with Ramsey, I think he deserves an awful lot of credit and respect from the Arsenal fans. He would have known from, September the 16th, when he had his contract pulled from him, that he was no longer going to be at Arsenal. He no longer had a future at Arsenal, right? But his attitude has not kind of wavered in the slightest. He's been a perfect pro. And if you look, he's been here nine years. He's been absolutely fantastic for Arsenal.
Yeah,
so,
I'd be well behaved as well if Juventus had guaranteed me 200 grand a week. But no, I get what you're saying. Lovely bloke.
Lovely bloke.
And a great
Two FA Cup final winning goals, so you can't... Oh, come on.
Oh, hello! Arsenal looking a little bit feeble there at the back, but Leno has collected, almost rolled it straight into, was that Jorgensen? But Huddersfield on the attack here, so nice build-up play. Aaron Moy at the epicentre of it all. That is a lovely through ball, and working their way down Arsenal's left-hand side, but he was trapped by Guendouzi. Well done him. Well done, Sideshow Bob. Well, we've got our first...
He's been fantastic.
Hold
by the
on,
way.
David, because we've got our first prize booster today. I don't want a Viking clap from everyone when this comes on screen, please. When it comes on screen. Go on. Right, Salah to score phrase at 7-2. Of course, odds accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. You have to be 18 plus if you want to bet along with us. But like I said, love scoring against Bournemouth. 5 goals in 3, so well worth a couple of Queen's noses.
Put him in,
That's
put him
a
in.
50p. All right, for those of you tuning in from outside the UK. OK, back to the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, because I'm not hearing a lot of noise from you, Jimbo.
No, I mean, Jordan Ibe actually looks surprisingly good in this game. He seems to kind of be very much up for it from his former club. I made a terrible decision earlier. The ball kind of dropped down to him in the box, and he decided to knock it down with his head. Although, here he is again,
Bournemouth.
edge of the box. Yeah, he's on the ball quite a lot, but he's making a few terrible decisions, to be fair. But, I mean, Bournemouth don't look shy in this game. I don't know. It's still been a bit cagey. Nothing really too exciting.
I know I've just said I want Liverpool to win the league, but after my outlandish statement when we pre-recorded Sunday Vibes that I prefer Bournemouth...
First time?
Oh, hello. Come back to me in a second. Lacazette. What happened, Dave? How did it die out, mate?
Ball. I tell you what, Mkhitaryan's playing particularly well today. I have to eat my words there. He's actually getting a hold of the ball and actually having it in very attacking positions. He basically slid Lacazette in. He managed to almost get his shot away, but it was kind of good defending from the Huddersfield defender. Looking very positive from Mickey.
Look quite... I was going to say... I mean, Huddersfield, in a couple of glimpses I've caught, have looked quite resolute. Obviously, unfortunate to concede that deflection, but let's go back to Will, because I've not heard much from you, mate, and I start to get a little bit upset about the lack of goals in your game, and I'm holding you personally accountable.
No, it's been end to end, especially in the Crystal Palace West Ham game, Chris. MacArthur had a great chance with Crystal Palace, and then Anderson went up the other end, slid in Javier Hernandez, and he had a shot well saved by that third choice keeper that we know so much about. Everton have been dominated at Vicarage Road in the Richarlison derby. Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane coming close with headers, and Nathan Redmond, a rejuvenated Nathan Redmond, been working some wonders down the left-hand side, but his shot went wide. But still, no goals, Chris.
No goals, mate. We'll get there eventually, though, so stay tuned. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, click the subscribe button below. Whether it's Football Daily, whether it's Soccer AM, all one big happy family here. We just want you on board, OK? So stay tuned with us. James, back to you. Any danger of a goal in your game? I'm getting pretty annoyed with all of you guys, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty annoyed at this game. Liverpool are attacking quite well at times, but Bournemouth are defending, 9-8 people in the box. So it's hard for them to actually break them down. But
it's been their way, hasn't it, this season? A lot more counter-attacking under Eddie Howe this campaign.
I mean, as I said previously, they don't look shy, though. They look like they want to, they're bringing it to Liverpool. And I don't know, it's just a bit of nothing, really, in this game. Like, I want something, obviously, and we all do, but it's not looking that way. I think that, they're defending too well, Bournemouth, and not attacking well enough.
I think maybe not a great team to play at this point for Liverpool, because they're not exactly like an immobile sitting defence, are they? And Liverpool do commit a lot of numbers, although their press hasn't been as vigorous this season. And they are in the box. Was that Jimmy Milner at right back trying to slip one of his forwards in? But yes, Bournemouth have been a little bit shaky at the back, so maybe we'll break the dam very soon. Talking of dam, that did not go in for Huddersfield. What a segue. Dave, deep free kick into the box from Huddersfield. Is this as exciting as it gets in this game?
What do you mean? We're 1-0 up, mate. We're doing our job. We are bringing goals. We're bringing goal. So, but Bernard Leno, then, he didn't look very convincing. He came out climbing and punching for something he should have been nowhere near, but we got away one there, so well done.
Yeah. And how did you receive the news?
There we go, goal, Liverpool.
Goal!
Oh, no.
Yes, Sadio, 4 in 4.
He is more important.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm eating my words now.
Yeah.
And more important in this game, sends Anfield into raptures. Again, not sure about that blonde streak, but, he's doing his thing, isn't he? I actually prefer it when someone else scores, because then Sadio Mane copies their celebration, doesn't it? It's absolutely hilarious. But that was a good finish. Can you take us through, Jimbo, when the replay comes on screen? Liverpool fans still celebrating, still surrounding Virgil van Dijk there, lapping it up. Go on, mate.
The ball came in from a corner, got kind of headed out by a Bournemouth player, and then came back to Milner on the right-hand side, who delivers a beautiful cross in and an easy header for Mane, who shouldn't really be winning it, to be fair. I mean, the defenders... Let's have a quick look. It's Ake's taken with Van Dijk, it looks like.
Has
really see.
Matip flicked
Matip?
that on to Sadio Mane's head? What an assist that'd be. No,
I don't
he
think
just...
so, no. But Ake was taken and leaving Mane free to knock it home.
Yeah, Sadio Mane not known for his headers, at least, I think. Happy to be proved wrong with some statistics. But we have an opening goal here in the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, so ball back into Manchester City's court after this, and they, of course, play Chelsea.
Yeah,
Super
big,
Sunday.
big
How are you
game.
feeling about that, big man?
Extremely nervous, considering how our last game with them went.
Brilliant in the second half,
And the fact that they've got Higuain scoring now is... God, yeah, it makes me even more nervous. I just hope we can get through it, really. We are at home, so we've got that to look forward to. But yeah, very nervous about it, to be fair.
And I'm getting word in my ear that obviously VAR isn't going to be incorporated into this.
Koscielny.
But Koscielny taking one to the twig and giggleberries there. But we're gonna find out if that was offside or not, Sadio Mane's header, because a lot of people contesting it. But are Liverpool, are they getting another fortuitous decision? Let's see.
It did look closer. It would be hard
very
to tell.
momentarily. But back to the 3 p.m. kickoff.
Penalty to Huddersfield.
Yeah, did hit Koscielny in the hand.
Well, what we're saying in these games, big man. Anything else
Cardiff
now?
making their first attacking intent down in the Southampton area, and I think it was Bobby Reed that went down under a challenge. The referee immediately waved away protests, and Southampton are back up the other end. But apart from that, mate, honestly, I'm trying to bring as much entertainment as I can to you, but there's not a lot to talk
You're
about.
doing a stand-up job.
Apart
And
from that, save of the year from Jordan Pickford.
I said we'd clarify the whole Mane situation. Apparently, it's unclear. We can't work any other angles. Unfortunately, the Football Social's reach does not extend that far in the Premier League. Can't be working those VAR angles. So let us know on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. Leave a comment here on YouTube. Was Sadio Mane offside? Have Liverpool been the benefits? Have they benefited? Beneficiaries. What's the word I was looking for of another decision in their favour? Right, let's go. Let's watch Huddersfield Arsenal for a little bit here, because I just want to slow the pace down, and the pace of this game looks quite slow again, David. Have you dropped off a little bit since the goal?
Huddersfield actually starting to play quite well. What's going on here?
Keep going.
Go on.
It's mental that Koscielny... How was Koscielny? 34?
43, I'm getting in my ear.
He's our best defender. It's like...
Ooh!
Is that a pen?
No!
Have we got a penalty, Will, or
I
what?
don't know. I think I might be going out for
He's got awful there.
a corner.
Sure.
Pawson looking stern as he stands over his whistle and says, just a corner. I don't know, goal kick. It is. It was one of them ones where he's pointed, but he's just pointed in no direction. It's just that fourth choice keeper getting involved again, Chris.
Is he fourth
actually a
choice now?
keeper?
Is he not third choice?
Might be a bit of Ali Dyer because he does not look comfortable at all. He could be coming off the streets and just saying he's a goalkeeper. Declan Rice with the ball over. Antonio's wriggled free. The keeper's come out. Got nothing. For me, that's a penalty.
I've got to say, that was very clumsy.
It was clumsy, wasn't it? It is a penalty.
It is a penalty. It has been given.
What's happening?
Right,
It's very hard to operate without the sound. I'm just trying to pick it up on pictures, but it does look like a penalty. Mark Noble to step up on the Aka. And it's 1-0!
Marky Noble.
Captain Fantastic, the man of the irons, they all love him. He's blowing bubbles. It's 1-0 to West Ham at Selhurst Park, and we've got a goal, Chris.
We've
got a goal, and Liverpool are through again.
That should have been a goal. That was absolutely horrendous.
Mo Salah, his finish as fluffy as his hair there. He's absolutely...
Usually extremely composed, but that's horrendous. I mean, he's going to feel terrible after that.
But they're still on the attack, James. Firmino on the edge of the box, mate. Take us through it. Take us through these next 10 seconds.
I mean, it seems to be the same attack every time. Jimmy Milner on the right-hand side, doing his attacking job from his right-back position, hammering the ball in, hoping for the best. But that just then, I think it was Firmino one-on-one, opts for passing it over to Salah. Terrible decision as it came out, because he absolutely fluffed it.
He did, mate. Not adding to his Premier League haul of 16 at the moment, but plenty of time left. Plenty of time for you to submit your questions as well. Get them in the comments below. Get at Temps on Twitter. Let's have one fresh off the bat.
We shall. This one's from Highlights Forever. Great name.
Nice. Is it with a 4?
With
EVA?
Yeah, is it EVA?
No, it's EVA.
Missed the trick there, missed the trick.
Play the game.
There you go. That's on YouTube. So it's from... He says, do Liverpool have the best fullbacks in the Premier League?
When they're fit.
The best fullbacks. OK, so we're talking Robertson, we're talking... Joe Gomez can play right back, can't he? Nathaniel Klein's gone to Bournemouth. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gentlemen, starting with you at the end,
Trent
Dave
Robertson.
Jackson, what do you think to the best fullbacks Liverpool in the Premier League? Can anyone contest them?
Who's like Man City's ones? Who's Man City's?
You got
Walker and Mendy when he's fit.
Yeah,
or-
I would say Manchester City then.
Walker seems to have dropped off a little bit.
yeah, he
this
has dropped off
season,
this
hasn't
season, I think.
What did you think about his tweet? After,
I
Liverpool,
don't mind.
after Liverpool dropped a couple
He
points.
is-
Do you think people, was that a storm in a teacup?
Do you know, people need to just chill out. Like, he's having a laugh. Like,
that out.
It's not even him, though. It's an agency doing it.
even so, though, people get so annoyed at such little things these days. I mean, he's having a laugh. He's trying to.
He's
butt a bit
known
of
for it
banter.
on Twitter as
No,
well.
I think the thing with that, one of the things about that is, like, it starts to play a bit of mind games on Liverpool, mate. The fact is, it's good, mate. It's
Yeah.
Because the thing is with Cole, he's won the Premier League, right? He's got nothing to prove. Whereas Liverpool, it's all that would pressure them. Chance at Liverpool.
No,
No.
cleared. Rubbish.
I think Liverpool have won the league since 89, 90, haven't they?
90, yeah.
We're only ever surviving,
And they finished runners-up 4 times in the interim, so a lot of pain in there as well. Can they put their demons to rest, starting with Bournemouth? It's looking likely because they're on top, aren't they, Jimbo?
Yeah, still attacking from that right-hand side. James Milner getting a flurry of crosses in. And once again,
Flurry,
Jimmy
great
Milner
word.
on the right. But it's the same thing every time. Bournemouth defending well. The crosses aren't getting to their men. So, I mean, if they do keep this up, they've got the win in the bag, to be fair, because Bournemouth haven't really gotten the ball at all.
Chance
Gotta
for
be off.
Palace.
He's got to be off.
Oh,
he's on!
Great
What a save!
Great chance over at Selhurst.
scored.
What happened?
I was going to shout a bit more, but I thought it was offside. Benteke back from the injury wilderness, and he's been put through in one-on-one with the keeper. And Fabianski's made a good save, but Benteke should have done a lot better. It should have been 1-1.
They're going through the offside now.
Benteke could do with a goal, couldn't they? They're going for the offside right now. Jim, you were looking at it.
Yeah, it looked
Did it
fine
appear
to me.
onside?
It looked fine to me.
That's a Manchester City fan giving us the green light on a Sadio Mane goal. We're drawing a line under it. No more chat as to whether that was onside or offside from here on in. And I've just seen Fabianski. I've just seen Wijnaldum, which begs the question, who is the most underrated player in the Premier League this season, gentlemen? Starting with you, Will Brazier.
David
On in.
Brooks.
David
Yeah,
Brooks.
that's a good shout.
6
Really good
goals,
shout.
4 assists, 2 assists.
He's injured, but we can't go through a Football Social episode without talking about Brooks's magic. He's lit up these shows every week.
Pour one out for his injury as well.
And as I've learned, he's Welsh, not English. He should be a stalwart, and maybe get a bigger move, maybe further down the line. Maybe to a Tottenham.
Only just arrived, hasn't he, from Sheffield Wednesday, £10 million, but he's taken to Premier League football.
Is he?
Like a
he
duck
came
to
from,
water.
Came from Man City's academy, I think.
Did he?
I think so.
As
I
did
could be
Dennis
completely.
Suarez. They're everywhere now, aren't they, mate?
I've seen more games of Dennis Suarez playing for City's youth team than I have for in Barcelona. I have no clue what he's been doing for a few years.
Yeah, he's probably a bit gutted because he was quite good at Villarreal, wasn't he? Pretty useful player for the Yellow Submarines. Thames, who do you think is the most underrated player in the Premier League?
Oh, what a ball that is.
Hello.
Terrible touch. Terrible touch. Don't know who played that pass.
We'll come back to you, Thames. Firmino's missed a glorious chance.
Absolutely
What's happened?
phenomenal ball, straight down the middle, from their own half. Into the box. Oh, well, God, that's a
All
big
right.
noise.
Big pause on that then. Will, what's this worth interrupting James' spiel for?
Sorry, James.
He's jumped the gun. He's jumped the gun.
Bill just fed in my ear. It's QPR 0, Birmingham 2.
Definitely worth it.
Right.
Sorry,
Liverpool
James.
on the attack yet again. Jim, take us through this attack and the last one that we missed.
Well, the last one, as I said, big ball from a centre-back, don't know which one.
Probably Van Dijk, let's face it.
Straight into Firmino, who took it into the box, but terrible touch from him, allowed the keeper to come and collect. And then, once again, Bournemouth tried to break out, lose the ball, and then they're struggling. Although, once again, they just can't get a hold of the ball, Bournemouth. It's a bit of a shame, really, because it's kind of definitely going Liverpool's way. They're completely in control of this game.
Sort of like
Completely
opening
in control.
exchanges of the game. Bournemouth were at least threatening on the
Yeah,
counter,
they
and
tried.
now they look absolutely penned. I'm hearing expletives, or at least, cut-off expletives from Dave, because he's very professional like that, coming from over there, emanating from over there. Dave, what are you so upset about?
We're a bit sloppy. Like, these are there for the taking. Let's get the second goal before half-time, and then we can finally relax on the Football Social. But they won't, will they? They'll concede a stupid free kick or a corner, and they'll concede.
One of the best moments on Football Social so far, when Cardiff scored against Arsenal, and Dave referred to him as a fat bloke from Cardiff as just
I think the exact quote was fat fella.
fat fella. So,
I don't really know his name.
Neil Warnock obviously needs to get whoever it was
There we go, Liverpool
down
in the
the
box.
gym.
Oh, goal!
Oh, my
God,
goodness
that is
gracious!
Absolutely fantastic from Val.
Is that Gini Wijnaldum, my most
such
underrated
a good
player in the
goal.
Premier League? You absolute Dutch Don.
That was a
Take us
lovely
through this
flick.
goal. Jimbo, when the actual replay comes on.
Ball comes in over the top, Wijnaldum cutting through 2 defenders, collects the ball easy as you like, and just dinks it over Boric like he's not even there. Absolutely beautiful. He should be very happy
I'm
with
looking
that.
forward to watching this because
This is so good. Jordan Ibe lost the... They keep losing the ball in silly positions.
I caught the oh, here we go. I
Look,
caught the last
ding.
10 seconds. It looked delightful.
Bang.
Oh, Genie!
Lovely.
Oh, rub that lamp, Genie.
Can't Mickey pick someone out? Oh, you.
That's such a good goal.
He's used one of his 3 wishes there with that finish.
Very,
right.
very good goal. That's it. Game over.
There we go. Back over.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, mate. I'm glad that didn't go under the radar. Dave Jackson.
Yes, mate.
Anything of that quality happening in your game?
No, not really.
Just so good.
Spread it.
We are severely lacking in quality, if I'm being perfectly honest. But we're winning. So
What do you think makes the biggest difference to this Arsenal lineup then?
if I'm
What's happening?
Kick the ball
like
out the area.
when Torreira and Xhaka are playing together, they look very good because then it kind of gives the other players a bit more space, a bit more freedom. But when they're not, we're just not good enough.
Okay.
If I'm being perfectly honest.
I mean, Huddersfield, new manager, slight upturn in performance. You might just be, weathering a bit of a storm. Another goal, the floodgates might open.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
Will is on his feet, and when Will's on his feet, he's at least, 6 foot what?
6'5". With
6
heels.
foot 5. That is impressive. One of my, favourite tall people on the football social, Will.
It's a limited selection, Chris.
What's happening on the 3 p.m? It's like Gandalf and the Hobbits.
I mean, if I wasn't,
what's happening in the 3 p.m. kickoffs?
West Ham got a very dangerous free kick. Wan-Bissaka take it now. Aaron Cresswell down on the left-hand side. He got a yellow card, but I think Snodgrass was having a little word with the ref saying it should be more. Czech Tosin going close for Everton in the Gerard Deulofeu derby down there. But Everton have been on top since the
How
start.
many more of these you got?
I checked, that was the last one. And, I've done my research on the Crystal Palace keeper. Yoites actually spent 8 years at Valencia. And 4 years at Getafe.
Alex!
What a finish! Oh, it's offside!
Why is it?
Why is it?
No,
Is he getting booked?
Why?
is it? What's going on?
What's happened?
If he's called that back for an Arsenal free... No, he's not.
No, he must be
have been offside.
must have
Huddersfield
been
free
offside,
kick,
and then he's
surely.
given
He
it
must
for a
have been
previous
offside.
That'd be rogue behaviour from John Moss if that was the case. Oh, he's for a late tackle.
No, he's
then
off. He's
No,
off.
he
Is he
No,
off?
is he off? I think he's offside.
I don't think that's as clear cut.
Great finish.
Great
though.
finish, though, Alex.
It certainly deserves another 10 minutes of deliberation like we did with Sadio Mane just to keep us ticking over while there's no goals in the other games. So, guys, get at us on Football Daily and Soccer AM social pages. Was that a Wobie chance offside?
poll,
I want to see some homemade VAR. I want you to take the screenshot into paint.
get your
I want to
rulers
see it. He can across the line and send it to John Stiff and he'll get it retweeted. Now, we didn't finish underrated players. Jimbo, starting with you.
Okay,
Well,
pass
ending
someone
almost
else.
with you.
God, I need to have a think
Dave,
of that
underrated?
one.
This side of the sofa not appreciating the underrated
Yeah.
angle. So let's move on to a new question. Adam Templeman, what have you got for us? Big man.
Yes, I've got a question from Daniel who says, is Laporte the most underrated defender in Europe?
No, you're 55 million.
He's rated highly enough. I think that people understand how good he is.
He's had a great season, hasn't he?
People
Really good
putting
season.
him and Van Dijk in the conversation for best centre-backs in the Premier League. So to say he's underrated would be a bit silly.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're silly.
Yeah, sorry, Daniel.
We do appreciate your question, though, Daniel.
Yeah.
So send another one in. Maybe, just not about a £55 million man being underrated. Maybe underappreciated how quickly he's settled
Underappreciated,
in.
maybe, yeah, maybe
Is
underappreciated.
that the
That's
angle he
fair,
was
yeah.
possibly working?
Because Van Dijk probably gets more of the headlines.
Yeah.
And Laporte's probably having arguably the same or, if not, better season.
That is, true words haven't come out of his mouth on the football social. Normally full of lies.
Penalty.
No. Lovely bit of trickery there from
And Arsenal very composed there at the back, Dave.
We need second goal, Chris Hamill. We need second goal.
Mate, the Niles absolutely smashing it down the right-hand side.
Hey!
Flying. Absolutely flying. Right, let's have another question. Sorry, mate, we didn't really flesh that one out.
No, you
but look, I mean,
To be fair, it is my fault. That was a silly question. So, I am sorry.
But while you look for another one, then Laporte for me. I think in the first 10 games of the season, arguably City's most important player.
Smith?
But that baton has been passed to Fernandinho. You look like a different side without him. I think he's probably the most underappreciated player in the Premier League. I think the wheels come off of City's title charge without that guy.
Yeah.
He is absolutely having a mesmerising season. At what, 33?
He's 34 this year, yeah.
34 this year. I love it.
34 is
Every time I watch
crazy,
him, I
mate.
just think, you are seriously, going to be missed.
He's at the club for a while, isn't he? He's signed another extension as well, hasn't he?
But he's got better every single
That's-
year.
that's
He's
the thing,
evolved
like,
under Pep again in the same way David Silva has.
I don't think he played a defensive role until we joined. Like Shakhtar, he was an attacking midfielder. So for him to come in and kind of slowly adapt his game into becoming like one of the best kind of defensive midfielders maybe in the world.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah,
You've got a lot
it's
of time.
absolutely
Pick someone out.
On the attacking of
There we
Arsenal,
go.
edge
Well,
of
he's
the
got
box.
two.
Mickey.
Oh, Mickey. That wasn't very pretty,
Not
was
so
it?
fine.
Was not fine. There you go. Same
Is
way.
this question going to blow our minds or what? So,
We have
that's
we
an
have
extension of the song, no one? All right, fair enough.
No.
Marcus has given us a good topic, not a good question.
Oh.
A good topic.
Halfway there.
So we'll slightly alter it. It's basically about Mahrez. Mahrez has only played
yeah.
2 minutes of Premier League football in 2019.
Yeah.
Why do
I
you
saw
think
it.
that? Why do you think that is? What Marcus has asked is, will he leave City to get more game time? Which is
No,
City.
he's on
Go on, James. You feel this as the City fan.
Why do you think
I
he's been
just
left
think
out?
like Sane and Sterling have just been playing better, and Bernardo Silva is completely undroppable at this point. And when you've got the likes of David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne available, Bernardo Silva is going to be pushed wide, and you can't drop him at the moment. He's absolutely fantastic.
So is he your underrated player? Bernardo
Potentially,
Silva?
yeah.
A little bit?
I mean, as a City fan, we do rate him as highly as I think we should, but I don't know how well received he is outside of the kind of City sphere. But
Because he made the most appearances for you in the Premier
Yeah,
League last
last
year, didn't he?
season,
But a lot
yeah.
of them were kind of bit parts in games. He's probably now getting more starts.
yeah, I mean,
The starts he deserves.
like, I remember Pat not being his biggest fan when he joined City.
Shock horror, Pat's not always right, all right?
Yeah.
You can clip that out.
He's not even here to defend himself.
He doesn't need to be.
I think he would have changed his mind
just
by
got
now,
shivers
surely.
somewhere in
'cause,
France,
yeah, Bernardo Silva's just proved himself time and time again. Time and time again.
Yeah, I think by now we know that he's a kind of supremely talented, well-rounded player, don't we? So,
Back to Mahrez.
back to Riyad Mahrez. What do you say? 2 minutes of Premier League football in 2019?
Only 2 minutes, yeah.
For a player of his calibre. Who didn't see this happening at some point in his City career, though? Anyone? Anyone on this sofa?
No.
I think that's the thing. I think,
I'll be honest, not this early on, no. No, I didn't.
To be fair, though, like when we signed him, was he any better than, was he actually better than Sane, Sterling and Bernardo Silva?
To be fair, he's only probably getting in at the start of the season because Sane wasn't at the races
Exactly.
and Pep wasn't
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest fan,
true.
was he?
That's very true.
I think he must have joined City knowing that he's not going to have the same amount of time as Leicester because he was a star man. So, I don't know, it depends on his own mindset. But
I suppose worth having him on the books regardless if that sort
it's
of...
fantastic
If
for-
having him on the bench has ascertained that sort of form from Sane, from Sterling, it's meant that they're a little bit more
It's true.
threatened in a healthy way, let's say, about losing their starting position because he actually... He came in and he fit more into a Pep side than I actually envisaged because
Yeah.
he's quite an individual player before as opposed to assistant player.
Yeah, I think...
A bit of that with Sane as well, I guess. but-
He did take a bit of time to adjust, and City fans got on his back quite quickly, especially
Really?
with the penalty miss at Liverpool.
Oh, that didn't help.
But I mean, it takes a while to adjust to a system like Pep's. I mean, and when people finally do, we've seen the improvement he has on players. But I don't know. I think it's just a matter of we're still in 4 competitions, so to have Mahrez just there is so important. And I don't think
Very good point. When the Champions League returns, he'll get more
exactly
minutes.
he's going to get his minutes. So I don't think there's a real problem there.
Okay. What do you guys think about Riyad Mahrez's current situation? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter. And if you're not subscribed, I'm watching you, all right? Hit that subscribe button right now. Pretty please. Adam Templeman, have we got... Oh, hold on. You can hold your horses.
Here
We've
we
got a
go.
prize boost. Is everyone ready? Is everyone ready?
No, I'm not going to miss this one.
In tandem, please, this time. Go. Right, Salah to score the 3rd goal in this game. 10-3. That is down. From 11 to 4. Odds accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. That'd be weird if they were down, wouldn't it? Wouldn't be a price boost if that was the case. Will, fancy a little bit of that because you clearly don't fancy any of these other games.
I'll have to have a bit of that, mate.
Really
Yeah,
segues
because
to
there's
that.
knitting going on in my
Go on,
games.
what's been the standout game? of these-
Wilfried
of
Zaha
kickoffs?
just had a swing and a miss. Czech Tosin went through, had a shot saved by Super Ben Foster, but he was offside. That's how much I'm digging out the barrel, Chris. Southampton have been all over Cardiff, but they've not had any clear chances, and that's a huge 6 point. There's only 2 points between them, and as you know, I say it every time, I've backed Cardiff to stay up, but I've backed Southampton in this game.
OK, fair enough. I actually read a fantastic article this morning with Ben Foster in about how he's sort of... he's made the most saves in Premier League history now. He's having a sort of new lease of life following that relegation with... Oh, hello. Go on, mate. Watford were in the box.
what did you say? Most saves in Premier League
Most
history?
saves.
Really?
Yeah, really surprising. But he's made the most saves in Premier League history. He's obviously been around for quite some time, hasn't he? At United, at West Brom,
Birmingham.
at Watford, now Birmingham as well. And he's talking about sort of the mental side of the game. Go on, what's happened, Will?
Sorry, Nathan Redmond on a mazy run all the way from his own half, weaved his way into the area. He's been causing all sorts of problems, but the shot was blocked by Sol Bamba, sticking one of his big, lanky legs out. And,
Go on, Mickey.
And it's
got to be a goal.
Oh, Mkhitaryan. I won't bore you anymore with Ben Foster. What's happening in the Arsenal game, Dave?
Chance.
Lacazette, well done.
Cool. Oh, look, the pillows stuck to me.
Get out of here.
Well done. I was about to slag off Henrik Mkhitaryan because he did not deliver what he should have done, but he managed to get a second sniff at it, and he picked Lacazette out, and he couldn't really miss, so he put the ball back in there. Well done.
What a ball.
Well done, Alexandre Lacazette. Oh,
what a save
sorry,
from
the Liverpool
Boris.
game.
Oh, it's all kicking off on the football social. So Maitland-Niles with an absolute
Yes.
peach of a ball down the right-hand side, like you just articulately phrased there, Davo. Mkhitaryan recycling play after losing it,
Yeah,
and
well done.
Lacazette is on the score sheet, becoming increasingly important and prolific to this side, because his all-round play is absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
yeah.
But a few more goals wouldn't go amiss, especially with Aubameyang on 15. Needs to step in, doesn't he? What are you getting so exasperated at, Will, in the other games about?
Sorry, Watford just
Go on,
getting
mate.
close, and as you know, they are on the ACCA, so I just really want to... We've never had, well, not in my presence, an ACCA win, so I just...
Oh, well, you weren't here, were you?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
it's your
famous
fault.
one. Yeah, famous
Maybe
one.
it's your bloody fault. You're always
where we should
predicting
go.
3-3, aren't you, mate?
Yeah,
I mean, I like your eternal optimism, but
if
you
that
are
happens, think of the content.
absolute scenes if it happens. Right, back over to the Liverpool game then. What happened as we were explaining the Arsenal goal? Because a good chance was had.
Yeah, Andy Robertson keeping the ball alive on the left-hand side. Kind of poor defending, really, from Bournemouth. Kind of a missed header that really should have been dealt with better. And Salah caught it really, really well from outside the box.
Yeah.
Got themselves a corner. They're currently on the attack now, but a bit struggling. But yeah, Liverpool look very comfortable in this game. I can see this being like 4-5, you know, if Bournemouth aren't careful.
Looking in fine fettle. Will Brazilian backflips over here, which is no mean feat given the size of the man. Why are you on your feet so often?
Sorry, it feels just fed in my ear. It's not, what's it,
Is this another Birmingham City update? Honestly, mate, can you stay professional?
This isn't boring. Nil. It's not even half time. It's QPR 0, Birmingham 4.
Oh, goodness
hello.
gracious.
Yeah. Oh, now you're interested.
I mean, interested is a
Lapping
bit...
it up now.
Interested is a bit strong there, William. Let's have a fan question from Adam Templeman.
Yes, this one is... I'm going to throw you all under the bus here.
Yeah.
This one's for Kicks for Life. What has gone wrong with Fulham this season?
Everything.
Can't defend and I can't score. Job done.
Brilliant analysis.
There you
very
go.
much.
I've got some stats on them here. Who wants to hear some stats?
Yes, please, me, Chris.
Come on then. So, despite the fact that they're faring so poorly, Mitrovic is having his best season with 10 in 25, and that's 10 in 26 now, isn't it? 6 of them headers. So there's a guy who can head the ball. You know, Schürrle's second on 6, and they've got West Ham next, so maybe they'll right some wrongs against West Ham.
Half-time.
They can't win away from home. That's the problem. 15 points at home, Adam Templeman. Only 2 points away. Absolutely shocking on the road. And it's half-time scenes at Arsenal, at Huddersfield versus Arsenal. Sorry, it's actually the Kirklees. Come on, put a bit of respect on that. Hello, turf. And Bournemouth, Liverpool rages. No, it's not. It's half-time. Half-time in all our games. Guys, we want some questions for the second half. Get them in the comments box below. Well, it's not below, is it? It's to the side. Get on our Twitter, get on our Facebook, and we will siphon through them and pick the best ones. Lads, did we enjoy that half? Picked up towards the end, didn't it? William, what's happening in the other games as they wind down? Oh, they've wound down.
They're all half-time now. Well, I think Watford, Everton's still playing, but... yeah, not a lot. I mean, Southampton have dominated that game against Cardiff and should really be winning. Everton have had some more of the clear-cut chances against Watford, and of course, it's 1-0 to West Ham. Mark Noble penalty.
Looking at scenes there from Anfield, and if Jimmy Milner hadn't established himself as an old-school footballer enough before now, he's got a bit of Vicks on his top, which Dougie Critchley admitted on Sunday Vibes he just thought was Patrick Vieira's snot all throughout the 90s and noughties.
I thought that as well.
Oh,
Not gonna
Adam
lie.
Templeman, absolutely ridiculous.
I was a kid.
If there's any fans that are Team Temps on this and that he thought that, you know, Patrick Vieira producing inordinate amount of snot, then please let us know
I
in
thought
the
it was
comments.
sweat. Like, it was just like wiping his mouth or his, his head.
Well, talking... Talking of snot. No, let's move
get out that
on
one?
to half-time scenes at the the Crystal Palace versus West Ham game, where of course the Hammers are edging proceedings 1-0. Fabianski making some very smart stops in that game. And look at the Silver Foxes, Hodgson and Pellegrini, still bossing it into their old age. You know, hopefully be that
with a bit of
tuned on.
silver in the hair.
I'm 70 years old. OK, so let's take a look at Everton Watford. Is that the last game
done,
to
mate. No, that's done
wind
now.
in?
Yeah, half time. Yeah, Pickford walking away after making what can arguably be described as the save of the season.
Ooh. The save of the season after you absolutely berated him.
Goalkeeper.
After you
Oh,
berated
he's just had an
him.
absolute fumble there. He's come out, tried to catch the ball.
For missing.
And look at this here. Just a simple catch. Put it in your hands. No pressure.
No.
So he's made save of the
player as
season
well.
and Butterfingers just before half-time.
Still 0-0 though.
Right, OK, let's go to half-time then at Vicarage Road. Troy Deeney there, who actually said about Ben Foster in this article I've been intermittently explaining that he hates training, he comes in 2 days a week, does barely anything when he's there, and then he's effing unbelievable on a Saturday or Sunday. So ageing like a fine wine. Right, have we got any questions to take us to our half-time VT, which actually features Tubes versus Tubes and Pep Guardiola. What a conversation with that man we've got on our hands. But any questions just quickly?
Yeah, we'll have a quick question. This one will be for you, Jackson. CC26 says, if Unai gets sacked tomorrow, which he probably won't, hear me out, would you take Wenger until the end of the season?
It's a bit of a stupid question because he's not going to get sacked.
Oh,
but
no,
would I take Wenger back?
That's not the question.
OK, so is the question, would I take Wenger back?
Would you take Wenger back till the end of the season? Just till the end of the season?
Yeah, if there was one man to come in and take us through until the end of the season, yes, Arsene Wenger would be the dream man. But if he was to go at the end of the season, for example, would I want Wenger to come back in? Probably not, because I think he's done all he can do for Arsenal now.
Where do you think he will go? Because he's rumoured to be choosing a club within the month.
I feel like he might go international.
Yeah.
So the people he's been heavily linked with are AC Milan to replace Gattuso, who I'm not sure is good enough to get them back into the Champions League. Sporting director at PSG, replacing Kovac at Bayern, and Real Madrid. Although Solari's kind of turned things around recently, hasn't he? So I don't see him getting in at Real Madrid. Obviously, they heavily courted him throughout the early noughties, didn't they? They're obsessed with him. So maybe AC Milan, are we agreeing, or sporting director at PSG?
Yeah,
AC Milan makes the most sense with Gazidis.
Most likely. Sporting director would be quite a nice role for him because, I mean, he loves his work, but he needs to chill out a bit. He's an old bloke, and I don't think.
But he just
loves it. He absolutely loves it. But it'd be nice for him to be able to kind of have a good, decent role within a big club, but have a little bit more chill.
He gave an interview.
Take his time.
He gave an interview recently, didn't he? Where I don't think he's got that chill switch. I'm afraid. He was saying at Arsenal, if he wasn't coaching the first team that day, he'd actively go and coach the reserves. He'd go and coach the under whatever. He just had to be on the training ground, which is in stark comparison to the evolution of someone like Ferguson, who left it to McLaren, who left it to Queiroz. You know, this is a guy who still loves the day-to-day of football. So maybe a national team, maybe that wouldn't suit him either.
No.
That really wouldn't, no.
We're going to take one more question before we go to our group bet. And on Sky Bet, you can actually bet as a collective now. There's no going around taking, odds and sods from your mates. You can get in a group on the app and bet together and ramp up those odds. But one more question, Temps, before we go to our group bet.
This question is from Football Buzz 21. Obviously, Eden Hazard said he made his decision on what he's going to do. Do you think he'll stay or do you think he'll leave?
Eden Hazard. Why don't we start on this end of the sofa?
Well, I think if he'd made his decision to stay at Chelsea, he'd come out straight away and say he's staying at
Chelsea
to give
very
a bit of
true.
morale boost. So he's obviously going to Real Madrid. They need a Galactico because you look at that starting 11 now, it's not very appetising for the neutral, especially for the superstars that they used to have. So he'll be in Madrid, sipping on sangria before the end of July, I reckon.
I think he'll stay. I think he's doing a Griezmann. I think he'll stay. And apparently Cesc Fabregas also said if he's made his decision, it means that he's staying.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Cesc got hoodwinked with the Henry thing, so he can't be trusted.
I do think it would still take a hefty fee to get him out of the bridge, wouldn't it? I think there was fees of 150 in the summer that Chelsea just weren't entertaining. You can see, like you said, while Real Madrid would want him, Vasquez not exactly doing it, is he? Gareth Bale perpetually injured, although still contributing to goals when he's on. Vinicius Junior really defying expectations, isn't he? He's actually looked like the biggest live wire up up front, Karim Benzema the top goal scorer, but Vinicius Junior really filling that hole that Ronaldo left in terms of shots per game. He's become a little bit of a shot monster, Vinicius Junior. Very active when he plays as well. 5-6 shots, carving out some good opportunities for himself when he gets on a pitch. Eden Hazard, Jimbo. I'd love to see him stay, one of the most naturally gifted players I've ever seen. I've also said that I prefer Raheem Sterling this season. I've got a lot of jip for it. I'm going to stick by it. But Eden Hazard, aesthetically beautiful to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of completely agree with what Will said. If he's said that, if he is staying, then why isn't he confirming it immediately? But yeah, it would be a shame to lose him, to be fair, because he's held that Chelsea team together for a long time. Like, I don't know how many goals he's got, but he's topping the assist charts. He's performing when Chelsea aren't performing, in a sense. So it would be a shame to lose him, but he'd be so good at Real Madrid. Like, he would absolutely light up La Liga. You could see him hitting, I wouldn't say Ronaldo numbers, but I mean, he would absolutely bang. You'd be getting 20-plus goals a season, I think.
They'd have to be comfortable with shedding 120 at least on a who turns 28 very soon, wouldn't they?
Chelsea always do very good business when selling players as well, so it will not be easy for Real Madrid to get Hazard. But
although I think they did reject about 75 million for Willian, which is which
absurd.
beggars belief. It's currently 1-1 Real Madrid versus Atletico, and it's the first time this season that Real Madrid can actually go second if they win the game. That's how sort of much Barcelona are. Their streaks ahead in that league, aren't they, at the moment? It's very competitive in terms of the Champions League places, but I think Barcelona have scored 28 more goals than Atletico Madrid at this point, and they're sort of at evens with Real Madrid, aren't they? That was always going to be a tight game because Atletico's defence is looking back to its best, still heavily reliant on Griezmann for a goal, but Real Madrid, I'll be interested to learn who scored from them in that game. So get in my ear.
That'd be very interesting.
David Jackson, Eden Hazard.
I think he's already gone to Real Madrid.
You're a big fan of a flamboyant wing, aren't you?
I think that, as you said, they're so far off Barcelona. They're going to need a big marquee signing. I think he's the perfect man to actually, for them potentially to build that new Real Madrid team around for the next 5 years. And then, because to be honest, Madrid hardly, they're not really used to getting a lot of buyback on their players or like resale value. Yeah. So they don't really care. They'll spend 120 million. They'll get a lot closer to Barcelona. They won't really care. Yeah,
they haven't spent big recently, have they? I mean, Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior cost a fair bit as youngsters, and a fair bit's an understatement as well, 40 and 50 million. But yeah, I think Eden Hazard probably would kill it there. But my instinct says he's going to stay, and it was Casemiro who scored in that game, so no one that we've discussed. The defensive midfielder chipping in with the goal. Let's go over to our group bet before we go to Tubes, talking to Pep Guardiola. Pep Talk, I believe it's called.
Very well.
Temps. Palace, you're calling it, mate.
I know.
What made you opt for West Ham?
The only reason I chose West Ham was because Zaha was. I thought he'd be out, but he's in. So I'm quite relieved right now.
Serendipitous, yes. So we're getting there by any means. Dave went for Arsenal 2-0, comfortable. James 2-0. Don't need to discuss these. Will, yours is still in the balance, mate. You're letting the side down.
Sorry, mate.
All right, fair enough. On a whimper there. So and I am as well. So we're in the same boat. 25-1. Let's go over to the big man Tubes, and he is talking to the one and only Pep Guardiola. So this should be fairly interesting.
Love you.
Pep, absolute pleasure to meet you. You're one of the best, if not the best, managers in the world. But at what age did you think, I quite fancy being a manager?
I think when I have 25, 26 years old.
Seriously?
Yeah, serious, yeah. And understand there, Johan Cruyff helped me to enjoy it, to try to understand the game. And in that age, said, when I finish my career, I will try to be manager. Yeah.
Well, and what made you want to be a manager?
I feel when I was 27, 28, 29, immediately I decided to say, wow. I played the games like a football player, but before the games I tried to figure out what I would do if I was a manager.
Wow.
That was the reason why.
Would you prefer playing or managing?
Playing.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. Playing, go home, that's all. Yeah. And here you never end. But both, I had a period, I was lucky. The period to play football was fantastic, but now I enjoy my profession.
Have you surprised yourself how well you've actually done at being a manager? You've won everything.
Good teams. So
good manager.
Good teams. So manager, we don't play.
Yeah, but you're
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do my best, and I'm a good manager, but good teams. So a lot amount of prizes because it was in Barcelona, it was in Bayern Munich, it was here. 3 incredible clubs, organizations, and incredible players. So we don't play. I don't play. The golf players don't win the caddy, win the golfer. The basketball players don't win the manager, win Michael Jordan. Yeah. So it's what it is.
Talking about golf, you're quite a good player, I've heard.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I play, but I'm not a good player. Good player is a professional player. I enjoy it.
Yeah, but that's a great player. They should...
Yeah, but...
What's your handicap?
17, 18. Can you imagine? It's a bad.
That's the same as me, so I think I'm quite
That's
good.
why you are a bad player.
Fair enough, I thought it was quite good. Where do you keep all your trophies and medals?
I don't know. At home, my father's, my dad and mom, my mom and dad. I don't keep it. I keep it, but I don't know where it is. So there are many.
Oh, there's there is many. There's loads.
That's why. No. Believe me, I'm not a guy like, oh, how good, and I won that. I have good memories, what we won, but I'm not there sitting in front of the trophy saying, clean it, or polish them, or thinking, oh, how good it is. So, good memories, what we live, especially the relation with the guys, on the way we work, that is when satisfied.
What's the best and worst things about being a football manager?
The best is when you decide to play in a certain way and it works.
Yeah.
And the worst day by far is when you cannot let your players play. That is terrible. It's a disaster. That killed me. But I don't have the solution. So I try to make a rotation. But there are many, many players deserve to play. And I cannot let them play because play 11. That is the toughest moment in our profession.
What Man City player do you think will go on to be a manager in the future?
Good question. Really, I don't know. My silence, I don't know. Really, I don't know. In Barcelona, I had the feeling with Mascherano, Busquets, with Xavi Hernandez, I would be a manager. But here, I don't know. Let me think about it. Next time I will answer you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I reckon Vinny Company.
Oh, Vinny, yeah. Can be one of them, yeah. That's true. Vinny, maybe Vinny.
He's a proper leader.
Yeah. No, because he told me. That's true.
So yeah, he plans
Vinny.
to be.
Yeah, Vinny.
There we go.
Vinny will be manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a great bond with the Man City fans, and they've got such a great song for you.
Yeah.
How good is that song?
That's nice.
We've got
Yeah, it's
Guardiola.
nice. It's nice. Barcelona and Munich, they didn't sing, they didn't, do a song for me. Here in Matchday, they did it. It's a nice song. I like it. Thank you.
When you're on the sideline, you must be like, that's pretty cool. And they were going, we've got boom, boom, Guardiola.
Why? They sing better than you, but yeah, that's nice. It's nice. It will be good memories. I appreciate it, believe me. I know it's a typical here in England. It's cultural, but it's nice. Thank you.
Do you know the words?
No.
No.
I have to take the lyrics and after. I recognize Guardiola, but the other one, no.
If Man City win every single Premier League game remaining, will you win the Premier League?
Yeah. If you win 12 games, we win the Premier League. That I'm pretty sure, yeah. Except Liverpool win the 13 games.
Yeah, no, that's a problem.
And after we'll not be champion. But I think we'll be champion. The problem is we are not going to win 12 points, 12 games.
I reckon you've got a very good chance.
I have a lot of games every 3 days. We're going to drop. Hopefully the other ones can drop too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Pep, thank you so much for your
You're
time.
very welcome.
Thank you, mate.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, good luck with the golf.
Oh, is it offside?
No, Griezmann.
Oh, Sadio Mane. I think he'd be less than impressed with that jumper we just saw Pep wearing. Been a bit of a fashionista himself. Actually, he might quite like it. He's a bit of an eccentric, isn't it? OK, Liverpool are back out on the Anfield turf. Arsenal have kicked off, haven't they, Davo?
They have.
So, let's get back into describing these games in a way that, only the panel of Football Social could do for our loyal viewers.
I love it.
Dave?
So, Arsenal started the best. We've already conceded the corner. But I expect us to go on and win this pretty comfortably, to be honest. What I want to know at home, can you let us know in the comments, does Chris look smaller than what Smithy does in his little chair, or is it look about
Smaller?
the same? Yeah,
I feel like any corporate overlord, at Sky could just make me disappear in this chair, and then Smithy would just pop up like, I could just be replaced at any time. So I'm feeling on edge here. So
That was the question.
But,
every single person is replaceable, mate.
yeah, you're only as good as your last stream, mate.
Very true.
Right, here we go. Let's get some questions in then, because you guys have been bombarding us at half time.
What have they done there?
Adam Templeman. Oh, sorry.
What's happening? Are we on a question?
No, that's right. Go for it.
Yeah, we all good. Marcus says, what club would suit Zaha best if he was to leave Crystal Palace?
Tottenham. As much it pains me to say.
You're going straight in with Tottenham, are you, Dave? Do you think it's still going to happen? Because I heard Crystal Palace want a pretty handsome sum for him.
But surely him as a player, there comes a point where he should be playing a better standard of football than just trying to get 10th. You know what I mean? Like, surely him as a professional, he needs to actually be trying to get into the Champions League, trying to, take his career to that next level. And I think he can only do that away from the Crystal Palace. But then again, to get him out of Crystal Palace, you're looking at, what, 60 million minimum, I would
probably.
say? So, have Spurs got that kind of money? Probably not.
I mean, that is the crux of the issue, isn't it? If he's best suited to Spurs, I don't think Spurs have got the finances with that new stadium build to facilitate that move. Have we got any other shouts for Will Zaha? Will, James, where could you see him plying his trade?
It's strange, isn't it? Because Arsenal haven't got the money, Spurs haven't got the money. So it's like, will it be one of these emerging teams that we've seen Everton spend £50 million on someone like
what a goal! What a
Sorry to interrupt, Will. But Mo Salah scored his 17th goal of the season, and he's back celebrating again after those stern face celebrations that really spoiled my December. I thought he was upset, and that made me upset because Mo Salah, what a lovable little guy, apart from when he's diving. Anyway, let's take us through the goal then, Jimbo.
Yes, it was like Bournemouth weren't really there. Like, they cut through him with one pass. Firmino gets on, lovely back heel inside the box to Salah, who just takes it and places it easy as you like in the bottom left corner. I mean, Bournemouth defensively have been shocking today, and I said it could be 3. It's so good.
Oh,
so good.
James, the back heel. Take us through that from Firmino.
I mean, it's a man who loves flair in the no-look passes, the flicks and tricks that he's got.
He wears velvet suits, and that touch was pure velvet, wasn't it?
The pass from Cater is phenomenal as well. Let's not take anything away from him. But, yeah, everything about that goal was just beautiful, and
Oh, God.
It's so good. It's so good.
That'd make a Wolverine purr, wouldn't it, that one? Okay. that little flick from Firmino, and that's put to bed their little arrest.
The Mbappe celebration.
Their arrest their slumping form.
Good save, Burnout, whatever his name is.
Talking of slumping form, Huddersfield are looking on top in this half day, though.
Again, sloppy defend from Arsenal. Sort your lives out. Come on. This should be a very comfortable evening, but it's not. And that's actually a very, very smart save from Leno down to his left. But yeah, he probably should have scored, to be honest. He was unmarked, just inside the box. There's a lot of time to pick his spot, and he hasn't, thankfully for Arsenal.
Aaron Moy, again, the conduit for everything. That is good coming through that Huddersfield attack. But they're really getting at you now, down that right-hand side as well.
What's he done there?
Oh. Anyway, let's move on to an audience question, because we had, like I said, an absolute barrel full at half-time.
We did. This next one's from Mark, who says, what defender should Arsenal realistically sign? Realistically being the key word there.
Temps, have you got one defender that you'd like to see come through the doors at the Emirates?
I just ask the questions, Chris. I don't answer them.
All right, fair enough. I won't try and get you involved ever again. Arsenal, defence.
So I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I think we should realistically go after Harry Maguire. I think he's a defender that you could actually build a defence around. He's young, youngish. And the thing I love about him is he's an actual defender who will actually attack the ball rather than try and react to situations. He will go and try to go and cut things out. So we also need a new left back. We probably need someone else.
Go on.
Although when I was in Berlin last weekend,
hold on, what's happening here then?
Coming out.
Come on, this could be quite.
No, I was just saying there was
Dave escorted from the premises.
There was a French defender for Wolfsburg who was a young. I don't know. I actually looked at him. I mean, about 20, 26. The left back for Wolfsburg was fantastic. I think we could definitely do with him.
I've never thought I'd see you go fully continental.
Oh, mate,
he hated expected goals, expected assists when it first came round. He said just then he wanted an aggressive.
But that was me actually looking at the play. None of this. Oh, he should have got.
And now you want someone from.
Oh,
Right, over to Will then, while me and you argue about expected goals.
Everton off the bar, Gylfi Sigurdsson prodding out a leg, and the ball was bouncing around, and he's looped it. Ben Foster left stranded in his goal. The replay's up now, and he's prodded it. It bounced off the bar and bounced away for safety. Look at that, just a little flick. Could have been inspired genius.
Wijnaldum-esque.
Fortunately, it's come off the bar, bounced away, and it's still 0-0 at Vicarage Road.
I think Dave Jackson recommending signing a left-back from Wolfsburg shows how much progress we've made on Football Social. It doesn't get any more
Beautiful moment for you and
that, right?
Pato, isn't it?
I'm cutting that out and taking it home myself. Right. We got any other questions there, buddy?
We do. We'll go over to Manny, who has the next question. Does Isco deserve to get in Real Madrid's starting 11? He's been dropped quite a lot recently.
Oh, does anyone want to field this? James, you got any Isco knowledge?
Yeah, not really. I do really like Isco, though. He got linked
because
to
he was
City.
linked with,
yeah, every single season. There was always that picture of him in an old-school Man City shirt that just teased us too much. But I don't really know what's going on with Real Madrid at the moment. I haven't been paying close attention, but I know the quality that Isco has, he could easily be in their starting 11. But obviously, I'm guessing he's dropped in form.
He doesn't seem to get on very well with Solari, does he, the manager? I think when he was first dropped, because he was actually a big fan of Lopetegui, the previous manager, and when he was first dropped, rumours started circulating about Solari dropping him because of his weight, and then he released pictures on social media of like Year 9, classic photo in the mirror, flash on, really getting all those rippling abs in photo. Hello, Will, standing up.
No, sorry, just got over.
How dare you navigate away from Isco's abs, mate, on such fleeting terms. But Santiago. Oh, hello, Palace.
Oh my God! How has he missed that? Sorry, Chris, but James MacArthur wiggled his way through. It was Messi-esque from the Scottish man, and he's got that much time, that much space. He's about 3 to 4 yards out again. Look at this. He's been given onside, so the flag stayed down. Look what he's just done.
Oh my God!
It's not even a save. It's not even a save from the keeper. He's just blasted it into his own fans and probably took a poor woman out. Look at this.
Oh dear!
He's at the post.
He's got England-Croatia written all over it.
No, he's not even at the post. I think he's at the stanchion at the back.
Oh dear me, James.
That is rank. Sorry.
Absolutely, Johnny Rotten. We're talking about Isco. I think Santiago Solari doesn't really like him. He's probably going to play youngsters instead. Apparently, Real Madrid 2-1 up now. Sergio Ramos scoring a penalty in the 42nd minute. The fact that he's still taking penalties is hilarious, but he bangs, doesn't he, on penalties, so fair play. Is there anything else banging in this game, James?
Liverpool are carving out some great opportunities, but not having the kind of final shot they want, although they are obviously 3-0 up. Fabinho just I don't know what he just did then, like a ghost just tripped him up, absolutely just sent him like 4 foot high as he tried to go for the ball.
Been Casper.
Once again, Bournemouth can't really hold possession for that much. They try and kind of pass out, go into the midfield, lose it immediately, and are absolutely screwed from there on in.
I think this passage of play highlighted the difference that of Liverpool last season to Liverpool this season. Letting Bournemouth have it in their own half there, rather than press them relentlessly.
They don't.
Not as much Geigen pressing.
Yeah, they don't mind. The 3-0 up, but they don't mind kind of springing counter-attacks on Bournemouth, because it's shown evidently today that it's worked fantastically, and they know that the Bournemouth defence aren't going to do much when it comes to it, because they've been pulled and pushed around absolutely everywhere, and I feel a bit sorry for them, to be fair.
And they're building up really well here from the back. Sadio Mane on the attack now, and Artur Buruk claims what a legend he is, by the way. Holy goal. He once saved a woman from being mugged in a park in Glasgow.
Wow.
So
I've heard that story so many times.
Artur Buruk, probably from me, time and time again. I'll use any excuse to talk about him.
Oh, God, they're so poor.
What a bargain he was, 500k. Anyway, talking of bargains, who's coming on for Huddersfield? Because I've never seen him in my life.
Number 5's going off. And number 12, is it number 12? He's a young chap just come out of the academy. He's not young, he's well old. I have no idea who's coming off.
How's the game been going in general?
It is,
Never
I'll be
mind
honest, this is the best bit position Huddersfield have had, but it's basically down from Arsenal. I think it's more down to Arsenal's cheap play, really. We seem to have given the ball away an awful lot, and we're not getting hold of it and creating anything ourselves. So it's not the best viewing from my point of view, to be honest.
You seem to be struggling with a few set pieces from Huddersfield. That's the third one of this half. Getting closer and closer as well. Aaron Moy, fantastic delivery as per usual. I think he's a bit underrated. Could probably do it at a bigger club. What's happened? Will, another very marginal miss in the Watford-Everton game this time.
Yeah, so it's an in-swing
Oh,
chance.
wow, this should be a goal.
Oh, James, take us through that after the Watford-Everton chance.
Yeah, Bournemouth just not being able to put
before.
a tackle in. Oh, sorry, after.
Go on,
Sorry,
go on.
I'm invested.
You go first.
Yeah, Bournemouth just can't get a tackle in. Every time they try, it just bounces to a Liverpool player. Really nice pass from Wijnaldum.
Oh,
Header from
no.
Wijnaldum just goes across the goal.
Oh, how's that not a fourth?
They could easily be 4-5 potentially. This is going to be horrendous.
Sadio not know with every new goal we get new subscribers. Please click that subscribe button down below. Get your questions in on the chat and on our Twitter and Facebook pages, guys. Chance at Vicarage Road, then take us through that, William.
Yeah, it was an in-swinging corner for Watford. Pickford come for it, didn't get it, and then there was a claim for foul, but it's hit Andre Gomez and nearly gone in for an own goal, but I think the referee's pulled it back for a free kick to Everton. So still 0-0, and let me remind you, gentlemen, we are just 2 goals away from winning this week's
From immortality. Excellent. Let's get another question.
Yes, the next question is from Jay, who wants to talk about the Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
And your predictions
you out then,
for
Dave.
United versus PSG.
Ooh.
What do we think? No Neymar, obviously.
United versus PSG. I've got a horrible feeling that United are going to win this, the home tie.
Horrible feeling.
Yeah, because, Joe would just be insufferable in the office, wouldn't he, if they beat PSG?
So
And I guarantee...
normal day then.
And I guarantee that, a lot more people jump on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bandwagon, which would be fantastic to watch, actually. So, lads, I think that Man United might edge them. Oh, Bournemouth with a chance.
Go on,
Bournemouth. Is that Ryan Fraser?
Are they going to pull it back?
I can't really tell who it is, to be perfectly honest.
It's the first game at Old Trafford.
The first game is at Old Trafford, isn't it?
Just this week.
It's not the Parc des Princes, yes.
Yeah.
It's in Manchester on Tuesday.
PSG, Lyon got at them in League One. I think the only team that can really have any skin left in the game when it comes to challenging at the top of League.
Is there no Verratti as well for PSG?
Verratti is injured. I'm not sure if he's going to be out for the United game. I'd have to double check. But Rabiot, of course, hasn't really been in the team since he supposedly agreed that pre-contract with Barcelona. And you're getting really annoyed.
Sorry, mate.
No, what's happened? Go on.
Just Ward-Prowse should have hit it, and he hasn't, and it's been blocked, and we're 2 goals away from the ACCA, and he should know better.
Does anyone have any other thoughts on Man United? Dave, would you come in the next day to work if Man United beat PSG?
I'd actually love them to beat PSG.
Would you?
I got no time with PSG whatsoever. I think
really?
they're just...
State-run football club.
Yeah. I would have no qualms as long as Man United don't actually win the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be horrible, that would.
All right, so crashing out next round to Ajax, who might beat Real Madrid.
Fantastic, yeah.
Jim, what do you think to the game coming up then? Big time.
It could go either way. I know that's the most obvious thing I could say. But
you're right, that was fairly
It
obvious.
really could go
yeah, you've got to pad this out, haven't you? But yeah, Man United look very good at the moment. Like, the whole Solskjaer revolution has really, really changed their season, and PSG are in a bit of a pickle with their injuries and kind of Rabiot being out of favour and whatnot. So, I could still see. They've still got Mbappe, still got Cavani.
Finish!
Go on then! Sorry, Jimbo, we'll come back to you in a second, but El Neni looking like he took off
Elneny's just come on for Lucas Torreira. He probably should at least hit the target. I'm not saying he should score from position. Ball's kind of like hung in the air by Krashagniak, or whatever his name is, and he's just not made any kind of contact. Whatever.
Come on,
Kolasinac.
All right. Dave's got a problem saying Kolasinac's name, and now I have. You've passed it on to me. Fantastic, good work, Davo. But yes, El Neni taking it off Lacazette there, probably going to be fuming. I'm not sure what El Neni's doing there. Nosebleed territory for him. Liverpool have a free kick. Jimbo, looks like Salah's going to whip this in, maybe.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh because I think it was Keita just ran straight into Ake. Couldn't really do anything about it. So a bit of a shame this goes in. Oh, they're playing it.
We'll stay with you, mate. Go on.
No.
And it's gone out for what?
Corner, I think.
Looks like a Liverpool corner. Mo Salah, a little bit frustrated there. Dave, was there a half chance in the Huddersfield Arsenal game?
There was. My man, the Bosnian. He's been doing bits down the left, right? So
What's his name again?
Kalajniak. He's actually played all right today, but then again, he hasn't really had anyone kind of going against him, so he hasn't really had to defend that much.
Against Man United, he left scores of space, didn't he, down the left-hand side?
No, but again, he's just left a load of space here, so well done. Great defending by Laurent Koscielny once again. He's so good, Koscielny. We are going to miss him so much when he does hang up his boots. Hopefully, he can hang up his boots at Arsenal.
I heard he's literally playing like every game pretty much on pain medication.
He's like
his Achilles are gone.
Achilles has been gone for about the last 3 years.
Incredible. Bless him, man.
But, you know, club captain, that's what I mean. Like, he's clearly ill, but he's on the pitch, yeah? So that's what I want to see for a commitment.
Mate, he's not got the man flu, so we'll excuse Aubameyang. But what's happening in the other games, Will.i.am?
The Batman is on for Crystal Palace and he's making an immediate impact. But as I say, that West Ham are on a counter-attack. Watford going close with Deulofeu. And Southampton, it literally have been camped in Cardiff's half for this entire second half, but it remained 0-0. A goal either way there would absolutely have huge ramifications down at the bottom end of the table. And for our ACCA, of course.
More importantly.
Exactly.
Right. Again, Liverpool. Well, not again. There's another set piece in the Liverpool game, isn't there, Jimbo? Not Liverpool's this time, though. It is Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone off Solanke's come on, so kind of ex-Liverpool swap. Yeah. Crazy money for those two, by the way. It's over 30 mil, I think, for both of them two.
Well, it's funny that you just mentioned Solanke, because I'm getting in my ear that we've got a price boost. Let's go after this
segue.
No,
don't do this to me.
Don't mess this up, mate.
Let's have it now from the gantry, from the gallery.
I'm going to mess this up.
Right, Solanke's scoring 90 minutes. I mean, that's 90 minutes in the remaining minutes. 11-1. Up, not down from 9-1. Odds subject accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. You can only play along with us if you're 18 plus. All right, and if you're not 18 plus, get in the comments. Come on. We want to answer your questions in quick-fire fashion. Adam Templeman is eager as a beaver.
I am so eager.
Right, what have we got then, Temps?
We've got a question from Mo, who says, should Chelsea sign Higuain on a permanent deal or look elsewhere for striking options? So is he the man for Chelsea?
Well, isn't his only goals come against Huddersfield so far?
Yeah, he's only played 2 games.
Yeah, but did you see that second one? It was gorgeous.
Yeah, everyone just calm down, give him 6 to 8 games. It's like when Loftus-Cheek came on in the World Cup for 20 minutes and people were comparing him to Gaza. Like, everyone just needs to calm down, give him 8 games. If he's doing, I know, but you got the retweets in. If he does well after that, then we'll have a chat, but just calm down.
I mean, he's done very, very well under Sarri in the past, I guess, is the reason why people maybe see this this is the start of a beautiful relationship. I think only 5 players have outscored him since his first season at Real Madrid. May have been a little bit later, actually, after joining from River Plate. So, incredible pedigree. It's just whether he can stay fit at the moment, isn't it? But when he's at number 9, Jimbo, it means that Eden Hazard's back out the left because he absolutely despised playing as a false 9, didn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely hated it, to be fair. And there was quite a cloud over Chelsea in the kind of way that people are out of position and not having the greatest time. Although Sarri is a fantastic manager, I think Higuain not only provides a goal scorer but a bit more kind of cohesion in the team. I see Higuain as a bit of a stopgap. They need a striker to score goals, and he will do that for the time being. But they will be looking for someone permanent. I don't think they'll think to actually sign him. But I mean, Chelsea don't really like their players over 30, really, do they? They kind of keep on 1-year contracts.
That was the policy before. I remember it was very controversial when Frank Lampard was only offered a 1-year deal.
But I don't know if they'll keep him on a permanent, but for the time being, he's a fantastic
addition, Andre Gomez coming off there, Will, the most handsome man in football, question mark?
No. Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, Olivier Giroud, because he, as we've seen, he's got the body to match as well. So you've got can't
just crossbar in the Huddersfield game.
And obviously personality is a big factor. Can't just go on looks.
I like that depth, William. Depth. You've got it all, mate. God, I'm just jealous. Right, moving on to another question from Social Corner before I, finish waxing lyrical about William.
Yeah. I think we covered this question a couple of weeks ago when I was last time.
Let's do it again then, why not?
Let's do it again, because we've got new people here, haven't we? Theo1497 says, is this Liverpool team better than the 13-14 team under Brendan?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to take this first? There was quite a few of us agreeing quite emphatically there. James, you're watching the Liverpool game, mate. Why don't you take us through the game and give us an answer to that question?
Yeah, I think the team before, they were quite uninspired. They had some kind of, in a sense, random players, like players you wouldn't expect to be challenging for the title. But this Liverpool side I mean, fully deserve to be in the position they're in. They're absolutely fantastic. The front three are absolutely electric. Really entertaining to watch. Even as like a rival, you can't help but admire them.
Yeah. Better than Sterling, Suarez, and an informed Danny Sturridge.
No, definitely in my eyes.
Yes is the answer.
As fantastic as those players, well, 2 out of the 3 have become. You just can't take the. Mo Salah is just such a joy to watch. Mane is devastating at times, and the fact that they've got Van Dijk now, who is arguably the best centre back in the Premier League. Everything just works right now. The one worry I do have with the squad is just the depth, but that's not really. I can't say anyone's fault, but it's not really the team's fault.
Only depth in certain positions, I guess, because they have still got Shaqiri, have still got Danny Sturridge, Adam Lallana. Everything's just more coherent about this Liverpool team, isn't it? Brendan Rodgers kind of made up for it with some very good systems, I guess. Often accused of not having a plan B.
Goal.
Yes! Come on, the Aka!
Oh, over to Will.
Andre Gray on as a substitute, and he's made an immediate impact. The ball's been played across. Everton can't defend set pieces, and it's come back to cost them again. A low-driven cross, and Andre Gray's got a simple tap in, and we just need 1 goal for the Aka gentlemen. Dare to dream!
It was never a Will. It was never a Will. Right, so whose result are we waiting on?
We need a goal from Southampton.
Oh, they're on the attack.
Cross comes in.
Come on, Southampton! Right, we need Ward's Prowse to do us a favour in that game. How are the 3 o'clock kickoffs looking, apart from that goal at Watford Everton? Take us through it if you like, Will.
So in the Crystal Palace versus West Ham game, Palace have come back into it a lot more since Batshuayi's come on, and West Ham kind of holding on a little bit, but they have had attacking intent. It's been all Southampton in that game. Nathan Redmond doing bits, but they just need that final touch. Austin's on the bench, and we know he's got a poacher's finish in him, and as we've just seen or heard from me, Andre Gay's made it 1-0 in the Marco Silva, Gerard Deulofeu, Richarlison derby, and the Aka is 1 goal away.
Well, not to take us, navigate too heavily away from Premier League football. What's going on? Adam pointing left, right, and centre here.
Batshuayi just had a chance.
Batshuayi's just had an unbelievable chance, as I've been reliably informed. The replay's coming up. Phil's telling me in my ear it's worse than McCarthy. He's been played on side by the right back. Simple finish.
Has to put that way.
You could be getting your first goal on your first appearance, but look at this.
Painful on his left foot.
Put it in McCarthy's corner. Maybe there's a ghoul there that's attracting them. Who knows?
Nearly headless Nick knocking around Selhurst Park, apparently. Not to deviate too much away from Premier League football, but Borussia Dortmund have thrown away a 3-goal lead.
Oh, no! Oh, dear, oh, dear!
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, no! I love it.
Bamba.
I've called him to... I knew this would happen. I put Southampton on the Aka, but Sol Bamba has said, no, Will Brazier, you can't have the Aka. He's made it 1-0 to Cardiff in a huge relegation 6-pointer. They're going wild. They're in the stands. Everyone's going mad, but Neil Warnock not smiling. It's 1-0 to Cardiff.
Oh, Sol Bamba, Neil Warnock's surrogate son.
It had to be Bamba as well.
Surrogate son strikes again, doesn't he? And your result letting us down in the Aka will, but in your defence, this was a bloody tough one to call, wasn't it?
I mean, I've said it. It's been all Southampton. I think this is the first probably shot on target that Cardiff have had all game. It's come from a scrappy corner. It's well worked, to be fair, but Bamba there,
did really well.
Absolute poacher's finish, and he's bouncing around with the Cardiff fans.
Sol Bamba, in the libero position, isn't he? Just marauding out of defence. Why is he always...
Oh, he's nearly hit a steward there. He's trying to get him out of the way, but he's in.
I love he's not happy, is he?
That's not a yellow card. The game's gone.
Talking of yellow, let's go back to the Dortmund game. They've thrown away a 3-goal lead against Hoffenheim, so that might blow the Bundesliga wide open. Talking of wide open, come on! Oh, no, Alex!
That was sums him up.
Oh, Dave, take us through that counter-attack. Come on.
Well, he's done particularly well because the ball's been played down to him, but he's used his pace to get away from the defender. He just have a tiny bit of composure and pick his spot. But instead he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. So that literally that's the kind of thing that stops him from being a top player.
We've seen some absolute humdingers, haven't we, missed in these games so far today. That's McCarthy, that's Bats, and what looked like Iwobi, although there was a close-up of El Neni afterwards, which is throwing me off slightly.
Yeah, it was Alex Iwobi.
It was Alex Iwobi. Very similar hairstyles. Ooh. Back to the Liverpool game then. What's happened, James? Because I just heard a little ooh.
Yeah, Bournemouth are getting back into this a little bit, having a few more attacks. Adam Smith is he's so hot-headed. Every time he messes up, he just wants to crunch somebody.
Our very own Adam Smith. Is that why he's not here? Is he turning up at Bournemouth?
But I don't know, like, Bournemouth are just, they're trying their best, bless them, but it's coming to nothing. Like,
that's what it's come to.
Yeah.
Pity from James Wayne for Bournemouth.
It's just a shame. It's
and
one big shame.
Oh, hello, Dave. You might be springing a counter-attack here. Let's stay with the Arsenal
Alex Iwobi is stretching the play particularly well at the moment, but we have to do more with it. The ball's coming sides.
Switch!
To Guendouzi. Take a touch! What has he done there?
Oh, he's gone over a banana skin, Super Mario style. What has happened there?
Mkhitaryan, sort your boots out. Plonker. So that was very good build-up play, though. So that's all I can ask for.
That was
apart from a goal. So well done.
Oh, he is gone.
Come on.
A over T. Right. Joining.
Oh! Spillage!
Oh!
What defending. Koscielny again. Where would we be without that man? I'd say we would be 10th.
Aaron Moy picking the ball up here. So decent little attack that from Huddersfield. Bern Leno, not the most convincing parry out, was it?
I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced by him.
Yeah.
You weren't convinced by Czech. You're not really convinced by the
I was
only
by
like
Czech.
Koscielny.
No, I was by Czech.
No, this season, surely.
This season in Czech, I would have stuck with Czech. To be honest.
Really?
Yeah, this Bernard guy, mate.
I mean,
his name is.
you're just a loyal man, aren't you, David?
I'll try, mate.
I don't know. You say you'd stay with Czech over Leno.
Okay, let's move on from that. Nothing happening in either game. Will was looking,
Come on, Alex.
repentant about his
Come on, pick
bad
someone out.
suggestion.
Why? I've backed Cardiff all year and I just don't know why I've not gone for them.
Oh, I thought that. Deceiving camera angle. Adam, on that bombshell, let's have a question from Social Corner.
Yes, we have a question from Irish Chelsea who says, who is the biggest prospect in the Premier League who doesn't make the first team?
Doesn't make the first team.
The biggest prospect. So we're talking. We're talking young, are we?
We're talking young. We're not
And they don't start. That's quite a tricky question. Anyone got anything that springs to mind straight away? Phil Foden.
Yeah, Phil Foden comes to mind straight away. He's
Talk to
going
me
to be
about Phil.
absolutely fantastic. There's a reason that we're not kind of fussed about selling him compared to the likes of Jadon Sancho, who's an absolute well-beater, and Brahim Diaz. So, like, there's a reason we want to nail him down. I think everyone sees something extremely special in him.
Yeah, Pep wasn't that bothered about letting Brahim Diaz go,
Yeah.
was it? I mean, he's got an abundant of wide talent, but
Apparently his attitude was absolutely stinking.
Phil Foden is the jewel in the crown of that youth system, though, isn't it? There probably isn't a better shout than Phil Foden actually right now.
I mean, yeah, we only signed Sancho from Watford when he was 15, so he wasn't really much of our.
Bit of a Raheem Sterling from Liverpool.
Yeah, so we don't
doesn't really
have
owe you as much as people maybe suggest.
Exactly, yeah. There's not much claim on him, to be fair. And I think he's done fantastically well. He's made a brilliant decision to go over to Germany and absolutely destroy it. I mean, a lot of youngsters are now.
Yeah.
So, because obviously, this question falls into the fact that young players aren't getting played, so there's trying to find opportunities elsewhere.
And there's loads over Europe now for Arsenal. Dan Crawley, is it? Playing really well this season in the Eredivisie.
Reece Nelson's doing bits in Hoffenheim.
Reece Nelson.
Did he score in this game?
Egbo over in Germany.
We just lent. What's his name? The guy you guys did on the bucket
Smith
list.
Rowe.
Yeah.
That segues to my next question, if you want.
Oh, lovely.
Hello.
Come right in, Adam Templeman. Come on down.
From Nelly, who obviously says, with Smith Rowe being the latest to go on loan to the Bundesliga, what other players do you think would benefit from going on loan to the Bundesliga?
Was it Lee Nelly? Just a Dream, what a song. What other players would benefit from going on loan to the Bundesliga? So...
Do you want to have a go?
Go on, jump right in,
I
please,
think the
mate.
thing is, any player that can go and get minutes, it's going to be brilliant. There's a massive difference in the standard of football between reserve football and actually playing competitive
100%.
football. So I think any player, if they've got a sniff, hold on, Lacazette.
Talking of sniffs, go
get
on,
the
mate.
third goal. Oh, just come on.
Oh my God.
We're just lacking that bit of
Henrik
quality,
Mkhitaryan
man.
has been absolutely bullied by Aaron Moy there. He's just sent him for a hot dog, hasn't he? All right, other youngsters,
Just before I say, important substitution coming on, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
That's good to see,
very important for Liverpool going forward. I mean, he's a fantastic player. But to go back to the question about who should go on loan, I think Morgan Gibbs-White's a good shout because he's a fantastic player, part of that kind of under-17 World Cup winning crop. He is getting minutes in the Premier League at Wolves, but I think he seems like a player that will really thrive out there. He's, he's, as I said, part of that crop who have absolutely destroyed the Bundesliga this season. And I don't think, he's like any different from them lot. He would absolutely destroy it and he'll get more minutes.
I think if you're, fully agreed. I think if you're a youth player at Chelsea at the moment as well, Sarri not known for rotating his side. I think they've got 44 players out on loan. I'd get out on loan, get some experience. Ola Ryan is playing really well for 2.
Go on, mate! Oh, what the block! Is that yes! Oh, no!
Goodness
gracious me! Southampton could have had about 3 in 3 seconds.
Salah in the box.
Oh,
he's at the post.
Salah hitting the bar. Take us back through that. Take us back through that.
Forget it. Someone de-rigged me. Zaha's made it 1-1. The Acker's off, and we didn't know if he was playing, but he is. It's Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 1.
It's good for the fans.
Right, so do you want to take us through the whole Southampton debacle?
Yeah, mazy run from Nathan Redmond, shot save, comes back, Charlie Austin should score, then they have a corner which just goes over, and then the replay for the Crystal Palace goal. Van Aanholt on the wide left, works it to Zaha here. Now, does he do his old step over magic? 1-2, where's the ball? He's come back.
No way should score.
Deflection.
It's MacArthur's corner, it's gone in. The Ghouls have been released and they've let him score. Near post.
Released.
Keeper should have done a little bit better, but...
little exorcism there at the post.
Look, it's taken a nick as well.
Oh, that's not a nick, Will. That's a
huge chunk.
That is a big old chunk, isn't it? So a very fortuitous goal for Palace. But have they deserved it on the balance of play?
No.
No.
To be fair, they've come back into it, but I think that's natural because West Ham did drop off a little bit going 1-0 up away from home. But they haven't had any clear... Well, no, they have. Sorry, they've had 2 clear-cut chances. So, to answer your question, yes, they did.
All right, lovely. Thank you. Very well put there. David and James, let's go over to you very quickly then. Latest occurrences in your game.
Denis Suarez has come on for Henrik Mkhitaryan. So
Come on then,
I'm
Dennis.
my first look at him as I was on the plane for the Man City game. I just want to have a look at him. It's a perfect game. He should have a lot of the ball, should have a lot of space, particularly as Huddersfield throw more people forward. So let's see if he can actually put Huddersfield finally to bed.
Yeah, a little assist here would go down well with the fans, wouldn't it? Get him up and run in. Bournemouth.
Good
save.
I made the wrong choice there in my eyes.
What happened, James?
One of their very, very rare attacks. Ball comes... I don't know who that chap is, to be fair. Down the right-hand side. So... breaks the line very well, stays on the side. I think he should be trying to hit the back post there.
Crossing it, Ryan Fraser.
I think it's King on the back post. Not too sure. Camera angle doesn't tell me, but he's gone for the shot near post and hasn't worked out.
Right. So Liverpool are breaking
They just
yet
can't
again.
defend.
Mo Salah, can he bring?
This is a goal. This is a goal.
That was not great pace in the ball to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold to Mane, and it's a great tackle. Who's that that's tackled him? Ryan Fraser. What a little legend. Pint-sized man.
He's like a friend of yours, isn't he?
What, all small people are friends, are they?
No. Isn't that a fella you meet him, or was that another former player?
Simon Francis. Close. Everyone below 5'10", in a universal brotherhood. Right, back to the 3 o'clock kickoffs then. Has Warnock made a couple of changes there, or am I just seeing things? That's a water break, was it?
Yeah, they've shored things up. Southampton have made changes. They've brought Charlie Austin on, who I've just watched the replay and it'd be one of them ones that get clipped out into a meme. And how do I tell my kids that Charlie Austin missed from there?
Oh God,
it's absolute shocking. And Max Meyer, who makes his appearance.
No.
Makes an appearance at Crystal Palace as they look to go for the win.
All right, OK, let's move on from those substitutions into what probably should have been a goal by a substitute. The Potter didn't start this game, did he?
Oh, here we go.
David, what happened with Huddersfield?
Well,
he skied it.
It's a lovely pass to him from the Huddersfield right winger, and he's taken a touch, and he's done well to get as close as he could. So unlucky for Huddersfield there.
The Quattro is an absolute unit, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's giving it a bit of that.
Definitely seen him outside of Wetherspoons.
He's
in the Midlands
he's a very
somewhere.
big lad.
Other chains of pubs are available. Adam Temple, let's go to social corner because these games. This is clearly killing Dave off here. This lack of clinical finishing from
I
Arsenal.
just know that Huddersfield are going to get something out of this. Like, they're going to get, at least get a goal, and then I'm going to be kicking off in a minute.
We really, yeah.
So, come on, just get the third goal and I can relax.
Until Dave kicks off, let's pad it out with a few audience questions.
Go for it. So Ollie has said, Solskjaer doesn't get the United job. Who would be the best alternative?
Pochettino,
for that?
every week.
Do you think he'd actually leave Spurs, though?
Yeah.
Has anyone got any... we can't even wind Smithy up this week, can we, about Pochettino leaving United? That's only when I want to elongate this question out, like, really hammer it home how perfect he would be for United. But as Adam Smith's not here, does anyone want to suggest someone that's not Pochettino? We had Allegri on Sunday Vibes recently from Juventus. Is there anyone of that ilk, or should we just move on?
I mean, there's always the Dan as a possible, but I mean, is he going to go there?
Zinedine Kilban.
Sure, but annoyingly, it is Poch as the.
There we go. Kevin Kilban, for Manchester United manager. You heard it here first, with Murphy as his assistant. You'll never see them on Match of the Day 2 ever again. Right, next question, please.
The next question is from that guy again, who says,
again.
What do you think Spurs need to do to win the Premier League?
Dave, why don't you answer this as the Arsenal fan? What would you do if you were at the helm of Spurs, you know?
All right, this is going to sound a bit harsh, right? I think there is two much better teams in there. This is the best they're ever going to do in the Premier League, and it's not going to be good enough. Yeah. It's really harsh. Like, if this had been a couple of years ago, I think they probably would have won the league this year. But there's two much better teams, and without the resources of the other teams, I don't think they can win the league.
Well, they had their opportunity with the year Leicester won it, and
exactly.
I don't think they're going to have that opportunity again. To be fair,
well, we saw the difficulties of moving into a new stadium, trying to join the elite clubs in terms of financial infrastructure with Arsenal, and how well Arsene Wenger did, and how maybe unheralded that was. Pochettino's doing exactly the same thing now. It's weird that there's some parallels, isn't there, between two great rivals and two great managers.
And I think
you're right.
I think there'll come a point where they'll have to start selling some of them jewels as well. A player like an Ali or a Kane, there'll come a point where they may have to cash in on them. And they got extremely... I don't want to say lucky, because they've had to nurture them players, but that's a certain crop of player that will not come around again for Spurs.
Yeah.
And this literally was their chance.
In unison, I mean, we've kind of seen it now. They've got Skip and Winks who are coming through the ranks, but they're a little bit below the level of players that have come before. And if I'm Real Madrid, I don't want to bid 120 million for Eden Hazard. I want to bid 150 for Harry Kane and really test Tottenham's resolve with that. Guys, what would you do to turn Tottenham into title-winning team? Sorry. Let us know in the comments below. Get on Football Daily and Soccer AIM's social pages. You know.
Coming on, Leno, idiot!
Oh God, Arsenal off the line.
It's useless.
All right, so that was Dave's analysis of that situation, and that's pretty emphatic. It was useless, but like I said, get any questions into the social handles that may or may not be on screen at this point with the hashtag #FootballSocial, so Adam Templeman can find your questions very easily. Let's get another one in, because I've not heard a peep from Will since the accumulator was a distant dream.
You won't like this next one, mate. Trapper says, can Cardiff stay up this season? So obviously they're ruining our ACCA. Will they survive relegation?
Yes.
You think they will?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
I hope all the bad stuff, the bad stuff that's happened around the club with Salah, can really galvanise the players and they stay up. It'd be a nice story, wouldn't it? And you know what? In defence of Neil Warnock and his approach to the game, which is, I think he said he's based it on Sean Dyche's Burnley, there probably is 3 worst teams in them this season. Yeah. So that they might just do what was probably perceived as impossible after 10, 15 games. Yeah. Given everything that's happened, I kind of hope it does. Anyone else?
I've said it for a couple of months now. Chris, you'll be the first to back me up on that. I think when they play teams in and around them, they just seem to know how to get the results. Like away at Southampton today, they haven't had a sniff, but they're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go. Big win last week at home. Bobby Reed getting on the score sheet twice. So I just think it will go down to the last day, but I just think they're too resolute under Neil Warnock, and I think they'll stay up.
All right, there we have it. Question.
Who's your 3 worst? Fulham, Huddersfield, and...
It's Fulham, Huddersfield, 100%, isn't it?
I mean, Newcastle, inability to score. You know, when Fabian Schär doesn't turn into Beckenbauer, is probably going to be an issue. But yeah, Burnley. I mean, they've picked up a little bit recently, haven't they? But at the start of the season, I kind of want Burnley to go down, just because I don't think they offer much at the tail end of the Premier League. You know, at least other teams kind of go for it, whereas their approach has been a little bit boring now for the last 2 seasons. But you know, I don't mind Sean Dyche. So they're my 3 teams, or, you know, 3 or 4 possibilities, William. Let's get another fan question then, while things are a little bit muted in the other games.
Okay, I'll throw you all under the bus once again. This one's
the
from
ghost of Smithy lives on.
DeSante, who says, is Harry Wilson the best young player in the Championship? So, answer that one.
Harry Wilson, thank you very much for that, Adam Templeman. Maybe let's turn that into a different question. Like, who is your favourite young player at your club right now, David? Who are you saying at Arsenal?
Guendouzi is looking like he is going to be a top player. He needs another couple of seasons. Hopefully, just playing. You know, maybe not playing 38 games, but if he can average out 25 Premier League games per season next couple of seasons, he is going to be a top player before Barcelona or Real Madrid come in for him and snap him off us for 60, 70 million.
He seems to have the right mentality, doesn't he? He seems to love playing for Arsenal, which he's not shying away from the spotlight.
Well, I think I don't know if it was like I remember the first game of the season against Man City when he played, and the game last week. Like, despite us not being in the game, like, he still wanted the football.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something you can't teach. That's taking responsibility at such a young age. And then I think that a good coach can actually work with that and turn a player into a good player, into a great player. Chance for Liverpool.
Oh, good save.
Could be goal of the season. It's Firmino just blowing the chance of securing goal of the season for Liverpool.
I don't know. I get very excited for team goals and counter attacks. So there might be a bit of exaggeration there, but
you might get a replay now. There's been a foul on the halfway line.
Very nice work from Liverpool there. I think it was Firmino once again with a little flick, which allowed Robertson to run with the ball, and he delivers an absolutely delicious cross into a passer, I should say, into Firmino, who should be doing better, really.
That guy.
I mean, there's been a few times where they should have scored.
That guy's boot is dripping with honey today, isn't it? But on comes Origi. Who does he come on for? We're all absolutely captivated by this. It's Sadio Mane, who's probably ran out of juice, put in a shift like he normally does down the left-hand side. Will, do you want to recap the game, the other game's last 5 minutes? Not heard from you in a little while.
Yeah, so they're very much in the balance as well. I mean, the ack is off, but that's not for everyone. So there are people watching at home that haven't put that on. To Crystal Palace, West Ham 1-1. Crystal Palace, it's been all them. The substitutions have made a big change there. Some big chances. Wilfried Zaha went close after some beautiful Barcelona-esque style tiki-taka play, but Zaha's shot was saved. Cardiff under the cosh as well, 1-0 up, and they're looking to hold that 1-0 win and get the 3 points. Very resolute there. And then Everton. Theo Walcott's come on, but there's no clear chances. No clear chances at all.
Yeah, and the fans are getting on at Marco Silva big time, and he's following his other patterns in the Premier League with Hull, with Watford. Tremendous, promising starts. I think Richarlison had 6 after 8, didn't he? He's only on 10 now. And sort of underwhelming finishes to the Premier League season, although still got a long way to go. Definitely a long way from challenging Arsenal
but he's got to be given
whoever for 6th at the current, aren't they?
When you replace Sam Allardyce and the philosophies that Marco Silva has, that's not just
a big shift, yeah?
That's a massive shift to change around. So it's like, I think he's got to be given the time. And maybe next year, if he's not cutting the mustard, then we'll have a little chat, Chris, and have a sit down.
Has he got it? Good.
They should have scored. Calvert-Lewin on as well as a substitute. Well worked. Cross comes in and he's headed it just wide.
I think maybe a little bit of pressure on Marco Silva because he has spent so much money on Richarlison and the guys from Barcelona.
But Sam Allardyce spent just under 50 million in the January transfer window last year.
Including quite a sizable amount on Cenk Tosun, wasn't it?
So, yeah, I mean,
and Theo Walcott.
Theo
Walcott, didn't he?
Gylfi Sigurdsson was 45. Was that Sam Allardyce's purchase?
Oh, come on, Arsenal, don't mess me about. Well done.
Go on, Dave. What's happening in the Huddersfield Arsenal game? Because they've got you camped in in your box at the moment.
We've used all 3 substitutions. This is it's bloody Huddersfield, man. What's going on?
What, you're struggling to see this one over the line? What's happening?
I know the score's 2-0 If we concede now, with 5 minutes to go, it was going to be extremely
great
nervy.
save from Boric there.
Like we don't look like we're going to keep clean sheets anymore, and that's how do you expect to go on to the next level and comfortably challenge for top 4 if you can't keep clean sheets?
Especially against Huddersfield.
Forget the top, that's gone. That is like, just come on, sort it out.
Yeah, it looks like you're missing a little bit of a cutting edge without Aubameyang, who's got 15 Premier League goals this campaign, only bested by Mo Salah. What are you ahhing at there, mate?
Max Meyer off the line, but Zaha's got a chance. It's recycled, ball bouncing around and cleared by West Ham. Southampton up the other end. They're just not getting the rub of the green, and it's all going for Cardiff. They've had them off the line, and Joe Bennett's made a great clearance, and it's gone for a corner for Southampton.
Let's watch this Everton free kick as it comes in as well in the dying
Palace are in the area.
Palace all over the game.
Oh, go through the referee's leg there. Great bit of balance by the ref.
That could have been a fantastic pass.
They're in again. Zaha! Straight.
Southampton!
Oh! Who's that? Who is it?
Is that Stevens?
Make yourself known to me, young man. Who is it? I think it's Jack Stevens.
Stevens, yeah.
He should have scored earlier, but he's made amends, and it's 1-1. It's game on. So
2 goals away.
Two goals away from
just the two.
Just the two in injury
Just the
time.
2 after the 91st minute. But you know what? Keep the faith, guys. Stay tuned in to see if the Aka comes in. Get your comments into Adam Templeman. We'll rifle through them in quick-fire fashion at the full-time whistle. And Bournemouth threatening to score there. This could have been a much higher-scoring game than it currently is right now, James.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Liverpool, they've been extremely professional. I don't think Bournemouth have really carved out a single good chance apart from that very first one from Ryan Fraser in the first 10 minutes. It's quite frustrating for me to watch just to see how good Liverpool actually are. Firmino has been absolutely outstanding today. Although Bournemouth... crikey.
Is that a Football Daily
Who was
first?
that?
Is that the first crikey we've had on the
Solanke absolutely wellied it from like 25 yards out, just going past the left side of the post. That could have been a fantastic goal.
Solanke, it's not just...
Thwack! Look at that.
Oh, thwack. Onomatopoeia. It's not just the players they've bought in, it's the players they've sold and the sums they've got, isn't it, Liverpool? 15 for Dominic Solanke, was it? 20-something. 24, was it, for Danny Ings? They are just conducting great business on and off the field, aren't they? Crazy. Right, let's go over to the 3 p.m. kickoffs then. Last couple minutes. Any chance, any danger of the...
Any danger?
The old Aka coming in, William.
Cardiff are in here. Sol Bamba at the back post playing like a makeshift striker. I know, he's been given offside, but it's all Crystal Palace in the game at Selhurst Park. West Ham have completely dropped off. Arnautovic is on for West Ham, but he's not had a sniff. Zaha has been working his magic down the left-hand side, but Zabaleta...
chance for Huddersfield.
Oh, God, was that an own goal? Oh, this is embarrassing from Arsenal.
He called it. He did call it.
Imagine if they get... Kolasinac! Kolasinac is in a headlock.
Yeah, go on, Kolasinac.
I'd be a brave man taking Kolasinac on. He's built like a wardrobe. Look at the size of him.
Can you please ask the Chorlog how many minutes overtime there is?
So, can I get upstairs how long is left on the Arsenal game? I mean, it does say there... No way!
Unbelievable! Joe Rose he's won it for Cardiff! The guy who scored took his shirt off. I don't know what that's for. Get your attention on Joe Rose. He's won it. Huge 6-pointer. Southampton 1, Cardiff 2.
Well, really important question is the guy who assisted it taking his shirt off, because that might be the first time I've seen it.
That is absolutely disgusting. The goal should be chalked off for that sort of behaviour. But I do love Cardiff, and I've called them to stay up, and they've won it in the last minute.
That's a nice story. That's a nice.
It's a lovely story, Chris. It's trickled off the post. It's a P-roller, and it's gone in. The keeper was left there standing. It's bouncing around. Southampton haven't cleared their lines, and it comes out to Joe Rawls. Oh no, it's the guy who scored, sorry. No, he's all right.
Is that a second time you've called someone out and been absolutely...
No, that's fine. He can take
be wider of the mark.
But they've won it, Chris. And
they have, mate.
And I think they overtake Southampton and get out the relegation zone.
That couldn't be any more of a championship goal either. Like 36 men inside the box and it's hit the ground 6 times before it's gone in.
I'd know a championship goal when I see one, Chris, and that is textbook. Look at that. Lean back, gone through about 3 legs, and they have
That's a really underrated technique there, with not the foot or the side, you know, the front or the side of the foot. bit of both, and it's crept in the side net and rippling.
I'm just trying to give the credit to
well
the...
played, Cardiff. And where does this put them in the table? I'll get an update from upstairs in a moment, but
You're right, Jackson.
the other games being managed by the big boys at the moment. Arsenal less so than Liverpool.
Oh, full time.
It's finished at Anfield.
Extremely professional performance from Liverpool there.
Let's get some... Oh, God.
Oh.
Bert Leno has caught that opportunity from Huddersfield. Let's go over to final scenes at the final whistle at Anfield. Mo Salah is, Mo Salah and Steve Cook like an unlikely duo there. What's going on? Jurgen Klopp happy on the sideline. No demonstrative behaviour this week towards the referee.
Yes.
And the game has finished at Arsenal as well. Unai Emery looking a little bit pale.
Oh, dear.
Had to hold on for that result, didn't they, Davo? Can you describe the last 30 seconds to us, mate? Because
it's
you're on
another
the edge
game
of
we
your
haven't
seat.
kept a bloody clean sheet. You just...
Oh, no, that is
We're so far off, like, where Arsenal need to be. And that's not an arrogance about any, like God-given right to be in the top 4 or challenging. This is not good enough.
It's not good enough, says Dave Jackson. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments below. We'll discuss Arsenal's form after all the games wrap up. I can confirm that Cardiff are 1 point out of the relegation spot with that result. So what a monstrous 3 points that is for them. How are the rest of the games unfurling, William?
It should be Watford 1, Everton 1. Bernard's played a lovely ball, floated one in right onto the header check post, and Foster doesn't get there, and it's a free header, and he's put it over the bar.
Zuma's
We've seen some
fuming with that, son.
absolute howitzers missed today, haven't we?
And Roy Hodgson is on the pitch berating the referee. We don't normally see this from what can only be described as an owl-like figure. He's very calm normally, but he's berating Craig Pawson.
Who is that?
Roy Hodgson.
Who?
Craig Pawson.
Hey, Al.
He's got you.
I've done you.
What?
Who? Owls make that
sorry,
noise, don't they?
sorry.
Come on, Will. Normally on the ball, mate. Who?
I'm just worried I'd mispronunciate it. Yeah, so that's finished 1-1. Southampton trying to get an equaliser, but looks like Cardiff 3 points.
We're going from one very upset manager, William, in the Owl himself, to Jurgen Klopp, who is the Labrador, the German Labrador, is absolutely ecstatic. And so you would be, James, after such a convincing result against tough opposition.
Yeah, like the nerves before this game were quite evident. 2 draws, 1-1 from winning position, so it'll be good for them to kind of get this solid performance in. Very, very professional, I've said before. It'd be interesting to see how many failed tackles Bournemouth have put in, because as soon as they put in a challenge, Liverpool were back on the ball. I do feel a bit sorry for Bournemouth because they were just shut out in every position.
I can also confirm, I've got stat of the day here, that Cardiff's first back-to-back wins in the Premier League since 1962.
What a year.
The year that John Babb was born. Over to Neil Warnock and the Cardiff fans, who are in raptures, William. Some lovely tributes there to Salah. And the players, they look galvanised. Like we said earlier, we hope this had, there was at least a silver lining in there somewhere, and it may be that it keeps Cardiff in the Premier League. Of course, that pales in comparison to matters elsewhere. But Sol Bamba celebrating.
Oh, I love that.
In the fashion you'd expect, Will, and you're a big fan of Sol Bamba, aren't you, mate?
Well, he's Neil Warnock's adopted son. We've said that many times on air. And look what it means to the Cardiff people. They absolutely love their club. They've got 3 points. They've had 3 shots on target in the game. They've scored 2 of them, and they've come away from 3 points, which is a fairly hefty travel all the way down to Southampton. So 1 point out of the relegation zone. It'd be very interesting to see who goes down now.
It will, and full-time at Watford. The Marco Silva derby, the Deulofeu derby. Who else did we have, William? Richarlison. The Richarlison derby. So a lot of familiar faces in those opposing starting lineups, and the pressure mounts on Silva, gentlemen. I want to know in the comments from our viewers at home whether you'd stick with Marco Silva or whether you think that someone else needs to be at the helm of the now cash-rich Everton. So get on to Adam Templeman in the comments, and let's have some comments because they're coming thick and fast in the face of these results.
Yes, this question is from Nando's for Breakfast.
Nice.
Wow. Outrageous.
Who says, who is the most underrated signing of the season so far?
Who's the most underrated?
Let's start with you then, Davo. Underrated. Maybe Shaqiri? For 13 mil in the grand scheme of things, he's contributed some important goals.
I don't know, maybe come back to me.
Okay, Jimbo, anyone?
Well, I could say, I mean, it's only just happened, but Higuain could be a shout. Because they were
brave call.
I mean, they were really lacking with Morata, and it's unfortunate because I quite like Morata as a player.
Okay.
But if Higuain can notch up, I mean, he's already got 2, maybe like 10 goals, it would be a massive success.
Yeah. True that, because they've needed a prominent number 9 for quite some time to get the best out of Hazard as well. Boys, quickly, your most underrated sign, then we're going to move on to confirmation that we in fact lost the bet.
I really like Brooksy.
Brooksy, of course,
Just
injured out for this game.
Yeah, him and Ryan Fraser, obviously Fraser was there before, but that attacking 4, very, very scary for Bournemouth.
Yeah, different gravy from Brooksy. What about you?
I'd have to go Guendouzi.
Despite
Arsenal not having the best season, he has been a shining light in our season so far. So.
Probably the only signing that Mislintat wanted to sort of bring in, and you know, it's come to fruition, hasn't it? I'm going to stick with Shaqiri, my stumpy brother. Let's have confirmation of the bet on screen now, please, gentlemen. Oh, so tense, not getting us off to the best of proceedings there, but it was a tough game to call. West Ham ultimately surrendering those 3 points, but Palace missing some absolute sitters. Dave narrowly over the line, and I think the edge of the sofa's probably got a bit of wear and tear on it, with you hovering on it the last 10 minutes. Liverpool convincing against Bournemouth, who were tricky opposition. Southampton, Cardiff, we lost a bit, but Cardiff, you know, have produced the best narrative that we've seen today. And I've called Watford versus Everton, but again, that seemed like a game low on quality. Could have been anyone's. That was 25-1. Anyone that tuned in, anyone that joined in with us, there's always next week. However, Football Social isn't on next week, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right, top of the table then. So after 26 games, Liverpool lead the Premier League on 65 points, staying 3 points above City. Look at City's goal difference, though.
Mental.
Impressive, given how clinical Liverpool have been. I suppose recent results costing them a couple of 1-1 draws. Tottenham still in it, aren't they, after 25 games played? Despite they play, of course, Leicester tomorrow, who are a tricky tie for top opposition this season, despite some injuries to their squad. And Man United, maybe story of the day, creeping into the Champions League places for what feels like the first time in absolutely yonks. Who is going to be? Who's going to descend into Europa League football out of those 3? Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Only time will tell. Let's have a look at the bottom, talking of descending. Bournemouth are in a relatively good position, given that 3-0 whooping. Huddersfield and Fulham, we've discussed them enough. It's boring me to tears at the moment. Burnley, dragged into the relegation zone, have got a game in hand, of course, on the likes of Southampton, level on points with Newcastle. But like we discussed earlier, 4 teams in it. Brighton could easily be dragged into that equation as well. I think Crystal Palace have probably got a bit too much about them personnel-wise. But Brighton, Cardiff, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley, any one of them could join Fulham and Huddersfield, in my opinion. Right, let's have a few quick-fire questions then before we call this a day, gentlemen. And, you know, I think you've all been in scintillating form, particularly you, Adam Templeman.
Thank you
Asking
very
about Harry Wilson,
much.
my personal favourite.
It's all been this. You mean Harry Wilson? Yeah.
Look, quick, who is Harry Wilson?
I don't know.
He plays for Derby.
He came
Welsh Wizard, the free kick taker.
He's a regen on FIFA. No, I'm sure he's a very promising youngster.
Probably good.
But we
He's
don't know
probably
much
good.
about him. Let's have some quick-fire questions then, mate.
We'll start from Benji, who says top 4 prediction. So let's start with Jackson. Top 4 prediction. In order.
City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal.
You sucker. Right, go on, James.
It's really tough in order, but I'm going to say City, bravely. Liverpool, Tottenham, and probably Chelsea.
Yeah, right, City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea. Is that the same as you?
Yes.
Same as Jimbo, then.
I'm going to go City, Liverpool,
All think City.
Spurs, and Manchester United.
Ooh, Man United in the ascendancy. I think that's a good shout.
I'm going to go City, Liverpool, United, Spurs.
Ooh. Mate, your earpiece has fallen out. You've already put it in over there the in the armchair fans, haven't you? Demonstrating that energy that we've all just come to love you for, William.
Thanks, Chris.
So thank you very much for another spiffing performance. Let's get some more questions before we wrap this up, because people are tuning in for your, intellect.
I don't know how quick-fire this question's going to be, but it's an interesting topic. It's from Chris DeSante, who says, with Espanyol signing of Wu Lee, do you think more teams will make commercial signings?
Ooh.
To perspective, 40 million people watched his debut.
Yeah, and Joe covered it on We Need to Talk, didn't he? And absolutely mental, the viewing figures. This is a 27-year-old. He's not some prodigious young Chinese talent. I think he was fairly prolific the season before, but I can't see many other players having the same sort of impact on making the move from China to Europe at the moment, because of course there's still that golfing clash. James, have you I'm not going to ask you if you've spotted any young Chinese talent, because that would be the definition of throwing you under the bus. But I mean, what do we talk about when we're covering this question?
Well,
just the impact that the whole Chinese Super League is having on the European game?
Well, it's a complete anomaly of a signing when it comes to that question. There aren't many players who are going to do that. Yeah. And this is one in, 20 years you're going to get a player that will bring in that viewing figures just for, it was something nuts just for his player reveal.
Yeah, I think 3 million people watching on a live stream on his player reveal. Yeah,
that's crazy.
We have seen signings before where the intent is to have just a big name player and somebody who will kind of raise the profile of the club, and this definitely seems like it. Although the player himself is apparently quite good. I'm not really big on the Chinese Super League, to be fair.
I've got a crazier player reveal for you though.
Okay.
Remember when Darius Vassell signed for a Turkish team? 8,000 people greeted him at the airport.
Absolutely swamped.
Who were they expecting? No disrespect to Darius Vassell, a very handy forward, but 8,000 people waited at the airport.
He's on the next.
Unemployment must have been high at that point in Turkey. Anyway, let's have another question.
Yes, this one's from Mart. It's about Liverpool Bayern Munich. Who do you think will win that game? Liverpool?
Oh, you've sort of become my de facto Liverpool fan for today. So do you want to kick us off, James?
I'll probably see Liverpool winning it, to be fair. Like, Bayern Munich have not been themselves of late. They have been good defensively, but they've had a lot of errors that have stopped them.
Individual errors.
Yeah, and that's what Liverpool thrive off, really. If there's one team who's going to punish you for an error, it's Liverpool. So I could see a big scoreline, to be fair. I'm really backing Liverpool for the Bayern Munich game.
Yeah. I agree. Jurgen Klopp had a good time of it at the Allianz with Dortmund, didn't he, Dave? What are you saying?
I think it wouldn't be the worst thing for Liverpool's chances if they went out of the Champions League quite early.
They've already had 2 cup competitions.
Because it's like there's no way that you can properly compete at that level in the Champions League and in the Premier League. I think if I was a Liverpool fan, I would put my focus into the league. They're this stage of the season, being that many points ahead, playing as well as they are, that is their best chance to win the league. Well, since
obviously still in the FA Cup or the League Cup, which City are, but Liverpool, I think 2 is manageable.
I'm not the biggest fan of your opinion on that one.
Fair enough. It's just trouble in paradise on this sofa.
Nah, just for the fact that you want to be like. I think the reason Liverpool have been so good this season is because of their Champions League run last and the confidence they've got them, from those games.
For the record, I'm not saying that they should deliberately go and lose, but I think if they were to go out,
that would be match fixing, wouldn't it?
We
can't have any of that.
It wouldn't be the worst thing for Liverpool's title chances if they went out early in the Champions League. Is what I'm saying.
I do agree with that.
So there's a silver lining should they crash out to Bayern Munich. William, what do you think about the Champions League? Man United, PSG, Bayern, Liverpool.
Well, just on the Liverpool topic, it's just like synonymous with those European nights. So I think even if they wanted to kind of take the foot off the gas as soon as you get to Anfield, the atmosphere is unbelievable. It seems to just, like last year it dragged them all the way to the final in Kiev, and I think, they'll probably not roll over Bayern Munich, but they'll definitely get through. And United, everything's going right for them. 10 games without a defeat. Neymar's out, Verratti's out, so I think they should probably beat PSG.
Verratti could be back, apparently back in training today, although Neymar at his birthday party recently apparently said, all I want for my birthday is a new metatarsal. And then proceeded to break down. So, send him your condolences in the comments below and to our social feeds on Football Daily and Soccer AM. Let's have some Verratti's in the lineup today. I'm hearing from the Chore Dog upstairs.
Cheers, Chore Dog.
There you go.
So there we have it. He's cleared that up. Exactly, and they're currently beating Bordeaux 1-0, where Josh Madger went from Sunderland.
Did he?
Yeah, from £1,000 to £14,000 as well. Fair play to him. Adam Templeman, quick fight. The Netflix channels that set the Sunderland games are excellent. Quick 5 questions then.
Yes, this one is from the person with my favourite name of the day. Where's the poll? I feel like that might be a little dig at me. Who do you think is to blame? We're not going to know the answer to this, but who do you think is to blame for the Ozil situation at Arsenal?
Harry Wilson.
or Mesut?
Who was the first person?
Who do you think is to blame for the Ozil situation at Arsenal? The manager or the player himself?
Who's giving him 300k a week?
Well, that's probably Mr. Wenger, wasn't it? But that's the thing I don't understand. And I've said this. It's like he's at the club. We are paying this money regardless, right?
Yeah.
He has to at least be on the bench. I don't know what's going on. It's mental.
Yeah, it's mental.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And looking at our midfield today, Mesut Ozil is 1,000,000% good enough to be in that team.
Yeah.
That's fact.
I mean, didn't he captain the side against Leicester, and he was absolutely superb
brilliant, yeah.
dropping
He played
deep.
really
So
well.
you can understand dropping him for, against maybe, top 2-3 opposition where you guys aren't favourites anymore.
Yeah.
But against Huddersfield, I mean, I'd like to hear maybe from the Chorlog again if he's fit. Maybe Phil Chorley knows. Maybe he is the person that can clear this up for us. But when you have your manager saying that we can only sign loan players in a very important winter window when the opposition is strengthening, I kind of feel like the club are throwing Mesut a little bit under the bus there, because it's like we've got a player who's not playing on 300k, and we're probably insinuating we have to move him on before we invest heavily again.
This is even the more that this almost like the even more so backwards thinking is. What team's going to want him if he's sat on the bench for a year? It's stupid.
You're looking at Inter or AC to do a madness, aren't you, and bid 30-40 million and just recoup some cash. But
send him off to China.
I mean, he's probably a bit too young for that.
Yeah,
his
he's
pedigree's
too
probably a
good
bit
for
too... Yeah.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. He's too good to be there. So and he's too good to not be on Arsenal's team. It's stupid.
It really winds me up, to be fair, because he's a fantastic player on his day, and it's just mind-boggling that the fact that he's not, like, even in the squad.
I think the only person that averages a higher chance creation in the Premier League, or has averaged over the last 5, 6, 7 years, has been Cesc Fabregas. So there's only one man out in front of him, and he was rated phenomenal, wasn't he? What do we think to Ozil on this end of the sofa then, William?
We've got a very comparable situation at Birmingham City at the moment with David Stockdale on 45 grand a week.
David Stockdale is on 45 grand a week.
Welcome,
Fair
Harry
play.
Redknapp.
Who is David's
King
agent?
of the jungle,
You
nearly made us bankrupt, mate. You've got to wait for February to find out if we're getting a hearing and 16-point deduction. Anyway, that's beside the point. He put Check and Doy on 45 grand as well, and he's playing in League 2 in France, but that doesn't matter. David Stockdale, 45 grand a week. Just can't get him.
Okay, that clears things up on Mesut Ozil then. Have we got another question? Maybe one about David Stockdale yet again.
Oh no, we don't have any about him.
Stockers.
But we can't play him, Chris, because we can't afford to play him.
We're back on David Stockdale.
So are we at the situation where if he plays another game, you've got to pay more money? Or something?
I've actually just heard that.
Wow.
I mean, Mesut Ozil, there's been a litany of excuses for him when he's not played this season. But he's got the same bug as Aubameyang, apparently, which is only going to serve to annoy Dave. So
There is no bug.
let's maybe just linger on Dave while this happens.
There is no bug. Just get him on the pitch.
Get him on the pitch, next week. If they're both not recovered from this mystery illness, then Dave Jackson will hunt them down. He is based in London, so beware. You've been warned, Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil. Next question.
Yeah, this also might be throwing you all slightly under the bus. I don't know how good your knowledge is.
What's going on today?
On players whose contracts are expiring.
Oh, yeah.
But what free agent do you want your club to pick up in the summer?
Great question.
It's a good question.
I don't know if he's a free agent. I'll have to Google it, but I swear Godin's on his way out in terms of
And he signed for Inter or something.
Did
he sign a pre-contract with Inter? He was being heavily linked with Inter in Jan, wasn't he?
But, I mean, if any, come back to a very previous question of Arsenal, who they could do to fix their defence. I thought Godin would be a fantastic replacement. And but yeah, if he's going on a free, which I'm not too sure he is, but he would definitely.
Who've like Man City got coming to the end of their contract?
Anyone coming? No, I think we're tying people down for longer. I don't think we've got any.
Yeah, you and Spurs have been. You and Spurs have been pretty systematic at renewing your top performance contracts, haven't you? I think Juan Mata might be on a free at the moment.
Juan Mata is on a free. I've got a list of.
He's got a list. Go on, rifle through the list on transfer, mate. Some top Premier League players.
I don't know how. I hope this is up to date because it's going to make me look.
They won't know if not.
James Milner is out of contract in the summer.
Not bad.
Olivier Giroud is out of contract in the summer. Mangala is out of contract in the summer.
There we go.
Monreal is out of contract. Gary Cahill, Carroll, Valencia.
I'm very surprised that Gary Cahill didn't move in January. Apparently, Juventus interested in him before they signed Caceres back on a 5-month sort of emergency loan from Lazio because they sold Benatia, and then Kylian Bonucci went and got injured and have been out for 5-6 games combined. So yeah. Maybe, someone could do a lot worse than picking up Gary Cahill if you're one of those clubs at the bottom of the league. Maybe Cardiff. Come on. He suits Neil Warnock's brand of football, doesn't he? Guys, get your suggestions for free transfers in the comments at Twitter, on Football Dailies and Soccer AMs, and we'll pick some of the best ones before the show is up. Let's have our final question right now, Adam Templeman. Are you ready to deliver one with aplomb? No.
This question is from Josh.
Go on, Josh. Round
Who
off the show.
says, should Coutinho come back to Liverpool? We'll end on a banger.
All right, little tenuous connection there to Liverpool then. So Coutinho, I mean, he's started a few games, hasn't he, recently, but dropped out of the side when Dembele's come in. Would you like to see him back in the Premier League? He was linked with Manchester United. Don't really have any United fans, but can anyone see that happening?
I can see him coming back.
Surely come back, yeah.
Surely costs an awful lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to go for less than 70, is he? Like, you know.
What about a swap deal with him and Eriksen at Spurs?
Oh, juicy.
I don't think Spurs can afford his
transfer.
wages.
True.
As he's come from Barca, he's going to be on at least 150, I would say.
I also
around the week.
think, like, Barcelona, if they're going to stick to playing a 4-4-3, because every time they deviate from that, the manager gets a load of grief, then where does Eriksen... I suppose Eriksen doesn't really fit into that either. We've got Arthur in midfield, along with Rakitic, along with Sergi Busquets. They've played as a free. Dembele, Messi.
Is that why Coutinho's not been playing?
Suarez. Yeah, I mean, Coutinho has generally dropped out for Dembele, but he fit into the side a little bit more when they played a 4-4-2, and he played as sort of that wide left player.
Right.
Because Dembele could then play on the right. You know, Messi could play as a sort of second striker and float around, but. Yeah, he's changed from that, has Valverde, and it seems to be working. You know, they're not grinding out the results anymore. They thrashed Sevilla the other week, didn't they? Coutinho back to the Premier League. Anyone have any final remarks on him before we wrap this show?
I'd say I'd love to have him back in the Premier League, but I don't think he's suited to Liverpool anymore.
Oh.
There's a reason they sold him, because he was not going to fit into Klopp's system and be a waste, so they might as well cash in while they could. So he would be better off going to a different club. I think Arsenal could do it.
I'd love it, but there's no way that's happening.
There's no way to get him, but I mean, I think he's best suited.
We've
to
got more chance of getting
Chelsea's
Stockdale, to be honest with you. So.
There we have it. David Stockdale to Arsenal and Coutinho to Chelsea. Two absolute humdingers to end on. Right, we've got some big matches coming up on Sky Sports. Look at that for a Super City. Absolutely mouthwatering. Tottenham versus Leicester. Come on, you foxes. Manchester City versus Chelsea. And if Leicester win, I don't care about that second game. No, of course, that is game of the weekend. Man City, Chelsea. Can they keep pace with Liverpool? That's not bad for a Monday night football, is it, either? A resurgent Newcastle against Wolves, the purists from the Championship. Guys, we're back in 2 weeks.
Massive game.
FA Cup, so of course, no football social, but 1:45, we're back for Manchester United versus Liverpool, Carabao Cup final. Make sure you join us. We'll have a star-studded lineup. You know, whoever it is, could be special guests. Either way, star-studded. Could be David Stockdale, yeah. So Sunday, February the 24th. Please tune back in. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Make sure you're keeping an eye on Football Daily and Soccer AM's social pages for more great content until we go live next for the Carabao Cup final. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye. Peace.
Oh my God, what an idiot! I just need a goal, Chris.
Yeah, you do need a goal. You actually...
light the fuse.
First time.
Hold on, David, because we've got our first prize booster of the day, man. I don't want a Viking clap from everyone when this comes on screen, please. When it comes on screen.
Mark Noble to step up on the Acca.
It's 1-0! Bucky Noble! Well done!
What has gone wrong with Fulham this season?
Everything. Can't defend and can't score. Job done.
Goal.
Yes! Come on, the Acca! We just need one goal for the Acca, gentlemen. Dare for dreams. Oh no! Oh dear! I knew this would happen. I put Southampton on the Acca, but Sol Bamba has said, no, Will Brazier, you can't have the Acca.